Bazinga.
South of the bridge.
South of the bridge, start up the hill, and it's right there on the left, where David was.
See, there's south of the bridge.
First place?
Yeah.
Let's see, that's what I was telling you, we were gonna blacktop south of the next mill road. And I said, we
No,
go south.
not the Bex Mill.
Exciting stuff, dirt.
Dirty.
Scott, that's south.
So it'll be improving in his place.
Yeah, it's this way.
That's
How
why,
much?
that's why he was.
Very well, that's up.
Can't complain.
They're doing good.
You might probably won't do it on the bridge.
Mark Shepherd, Mark.
No, he just didn't.
Another name.
I said, well.
My dad on the farm out on close to the hill.
Talk about other money come in.
Sister Nancy.
That's what I told him. David didn't.
Yeah.
I said, well, I understand it's gonna be south of Scott.
Okay,
Okay.
That's from the bridge too, Scott.
Yeah,
Gerald's acting superintendent.
so I thought that was good.
okay. Will do. That's fine.
Okay.
Okay, appreciate it.
Okay.
What about, Sheila's to the Gibson Township line?
So long, to the dance. Almost too long.
Yeah.
I think we can,
You know what they're asking for?
back on that.
You're saying,
So
so
side
side.
I don't think there's that much traffic on it.
I'd
Real,
my wife
down
says
there,
she'd love to have
that was over.
She said,
I
"Boy,
think most of your parts comes in 135.
they'll eventually use it.
Off of Mill Ford
They're
Bridge.
just charging the storage on it. That's what I always use it of.
That hill's where bus drivers complain about it.
It looks different, man.
Yeah, it does. Well, it's,
There's just so many of them.
because, you know, if anybody asks you about a basement,
That,
shoot, so we'll look right there. And there's what we'd hit all the, you know, you've been busted, I mean, you've been busted from all the.
This is Worthing County.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Harrison ain't no different.
No, I mean, Southern Indiana, we're single.
Complain about that.
Top of the driveway,
That's the way it is.
Smith,
yeah.
Scott's her,
How are you?
Scott's her, I haven't got to talk to her yet. Well, it's way, I mean, it's her problem. Not ours.
Sometimes explain it to her.
She calls quite a bit for her return, this morning, bank offer. She just, one of those times. So I'll read those roads off for you today.
Okay, I've still got it.
Let me guess where this
Yeah.
is.
Yeah, okay,
That's good.
okay.
Ain't heard nothing about no money like that.
I haven't been in the office since Friday, and I haven't, so I haven't looked at my emails or anything, so. Did they give you a certain, I know it's supposed to come this month, but, yeah, so. If it's there, we'll be yay-hoo, if it's not, then we know it's not there. Okay. And well, you probably heard from other counties if it had, or.
I thought it was 1450. Some of them things.
Oh, I thought it was too, because I got a letter, an email or something
My question is,
here on, I mean, it's been a while back, said that it would come in August, and I was sure, you know, that the extra would be in August. Well, I mean, so I assume it's talking about, yeah.
I hope
the
it.
money. And I know it's been, I know I got an email or something when I was reading it that said it should come in August, the extra.
now wait a minute, I don't like that either.
And you have your copy, right?
Buffalo.
Yes,
I can-
yeah. Well, when, no, just when you get ready. You're supposed to on the agenda anyway.
I'm fine, are you? That's what I'm thrilled with it about.
I have one of them.
It's gonna get exciting real quick. More exciting about that.
I disagree.
Okay.
Seeing prefabricated metals go up just doesn't excite me.
Oh, but we're gonna start digging 400 stuff.
They're making rebars or something, I don't know what they're doing with rebars, but they're doing something.
Yeah, it's all the reinforcement, foundation reinforcement. They prefab them and then they just take them and set them after they dig the footings or form the box or whatever they're gonna, however they're gonna do it. And they set the steel down in it and support it. That way they've got it all ready to go.
time to call August 20th Board of Commissioners meeting order at this time, and if everybody rise, we'd ask Dave to lead us in prayer after which, or pledge the flag after which those who so desire can have a moment of silence.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. Welcome everybody to our meeting. Second meeting of the month. This time we would entertain a motion to accept the minutes of the last meeting unless there are additions or corrections.
Make a motion.
Second.
Thank you. Bill made a motion, Dave second, through our last meeting, which was September 6th, I guess, or August the 6th. All those in favor, raise your right hand. Unanimous, sir. First on our agenda, we have Terry Withers from East Supply Services. Will you come up, please?
Good morning. Sorry?
You've done some good spying for us.
It's fine, yeah, the name's kind of deceptive. What we actually are is we are a telecommunications auditing firm. We're located in Lawrence County in Bedford, Indiana. Currently doing the county and the city again. We did our audit about 3 years ago, able to recover a lot of funds. Probably about 90% of your phone, internet, cell phones, those billings have errors on it. That's what our auditors do. They go back and review those records and recover funds. We are a contingency-based firm. If you're one of the few counties in the United States that do not have errors on their bills, then you don't owe us anything for looking. Everything that we do is transparent. And what I mean in that is at the end of the audit, the county will receive a TIMS report, which is actually a report that lists all of the lines that you're using, everything that you're billed for. Our intention is not to get you to change your providers or to purchase new equipment. It's just to uncover those errors and recover money for the county.
What kind of a report?
It's called a TIMS report. It's a telecommunications management system report.
Sarah.
Then what that does is then if the county is looking at changing providers in the future, you're more educated on what you have, and you can say, this is what we need, this is what we want, so that in the future you're not paying. Recently in your area, we just completed an audit for Steve Moxinger over at Hillstrap. They're not a huge volume leader, but we were able to go, not only do we recover money from past errors, but we help reduce cost in the future. Their future phone bills and internet bills are going to be about $300 less going forward. So that is where our fee comes in on recovery and then going forward. Does that make sense? Has the-
Yeah, we've done this before.
Yeah, but not with our company, correct?
I don't remember.
No, we've not done it with their company.
Okay.
Where are you located?
We are in Bedford, Indiana, in Lawrence County, so. right up the road.
You said it was 3 years ago, sir. You have a business card.
You know, I may or may not. We had it done. I'll get Sarah one. I have one, I'm sure, in the car. It was about 3 years ago, is that what you
I
told me?
think about 3 years ago we
Because
had.
last time someone came in, we said it had only been about 2.5 years, and we said we wanted to wait.
Right.
And it's, I don't remember what the results were the last time. There was some savings.
We did get some savings back. We did get some.
But it's,
Yeah. We did just And you could contact, Chris, I don't know if you know any of the commissioners in Bedford. Chris May, David Flynn, Bill Spring are the commissioners there. And they had an audit with another firm about 3 years ago. They didn't go with us. And within the first 4 weeks of our findings, it's been about 3 years, we are already at $36,000 of recovery for them. And we just started, so that's a pretty good chunk of change. Are there any questions on how?
So
Typically,
you think a 3-year audit every 3 years is pretty sufficient? Or-
yeah, a lot of times for government, they will look at more 2 to 3 years in that range. If you go over 3 years, you're probably pushing it. And that's because of the changes. There's constant change in government, as we know, as compared to like Eddie Gilstrap down the road. He doesn't have nearly the change as, say, the government does. So I would say at least every 3 years, you need to have someone look at it. And, you know, the worst case scenario is someone looks at it and we don't find anything. You don't owe us any money, but you have the, you know, the peace of mind that, hey, we're paying exactly for what we're getting. And we've got the best, you know, we've got the best there, so. And then if we do, then of course you have money that goes to your bottom line. And so that's a good thing.
And then any saving, you just take a percentage.
We take 50% of recovery and 50% of future for the 12 months. Most of my competitors will have you sign a 3-year contract. We don't do that. We have 12 months. It's a 12-month agreement, which Sarah has the agreement. But there's actually, and you might let your attorney look at that, but in line 7, we've actually added that for future savings, as soon as our fee is paid for those future savings, you're actually completed your agreement. So there is no 3-year or 12-month. And actually, for future savings, let's say, for example, like Eddie Gilstrap, they're saving $300 a month going forward. So they owe us 50% of that for the next 12 months. If they pay that up front, they get a 15% discount, and then it's completed. But that's in line 7, I think, is what Sarah has there.
Did you ever know Glenn Sims, former commissioner, the one the tractor overturned in the pond?
Yes, yes.
He's the only commissioner I ever did. I met him on the Hoosier Uplands Board. That's the only
Yeah,
commissioner.
yeah. In Bedford, the county just, they did with someone else, and then the city, I met with them yesterday, and the mayor of Bedford agreed to do ours again, because they were really pleased with what they did.
I like the idea 1 year at a time. So, if you don't have any questions, entertain a motion one way or the other.
I make a motion to go ahead and proceed with this for this 1-year agreement.
I'll second that.
Thank you. All those in favor of the 1-year agreement, raise your right hand. Unanimous?
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Do they sign it, or do I just need to sign it? Do they need to sign it in place? Because I'm going to be the one that's going to,
That would be authorized, as long as you're authorized.
they just gave to accept it, so I'll sign
I'll
it.
amend that motion if you need to have Sarah go ahead and sign.
I'm not going to sign it right yet anyway, I'm going to wait,
Yeah.
because she's got to give me in some stuff. And
Yeah, I'll work with that too, if you do that too.
yeah, you can just bring, yeah, okay. That'll be fine. Yeah, that'd be fine, that'd be
Thank you,
better.
gentlemen.
Well,
What?
you have to do it first, well, no, I'm not going to be here tomorrow, I have an eye.
You have not, you have.
I have an eye issue.
I'll call you.
Okay.
Okay, that'll work. All right, thank you,
Hey,
gentlemen.
come on up.
Thank you. Again, this year we have bought flu vaccine through a grant. And to make it more feasible for the community because the flu vaccine will be open for anybody then, because it's bought under a grant. And to make it more accessible for those who come to town once a week or work through the week, we would like to do a Saturday flu clinic at Southern Hills Church and do it as a preparedness drill, but mostly because a lot of people work through the week, we don't stay open late at night, they come home, they're at 5 o'clock and we're not here. So we're only giving it to those people who can come through the day. I would like to be able to do a half a Saturday, 9 to 12, 12:30 at the latest, but I didn't know if you all would let us do comp time for that. I know, no, I'm not supposed to be trying to do any comp time, but for the service of the community, and put it in the paper, and put it on the radio, and say, we're only gonna be here for this time, one time.
I don't think we ever agreed that you couldn't have comp time. The one thing that we stipulated with comp time is that you take time off instead of being paid.
Well, and I don't know if I can get them to take 4 hours through the week to compensate for that. That's why I needed to check with you all. I don't want to set up a date and set up a time just to say, oh, we're not going to pay you for that, if they can't take off through the week before then. Because then that sets me with no help, trying to run a clinic.
Is there two people?
No, it would be Karen, Lindsay, me, it'd probably be the whole staff, because they'd have to run screening as well as administration.
For 4 hours?
Max, yeah. Because nobody wants to give up more than 4 hours of their Saturday.
What,
I'll be honest.
what kind of cost factor are we looking at there?
I have no idea. I have no idea.
One option would be to exchange those hours for a 4-hour period during a week.
And I could try to get them to do that.
That'd be the only way I could go along with it.
Okay. But I don't know if I can get them to do, Chris is just now getting started in his department, and to be able to say, okay, you gotta take 4 hours off this week and make up for it on Saturday. I don't know if Susan will do that, but I'll see, all I can do is ask. Otherwise, it won't go, right?
That's the way I feel. I don't know how the other two feel. Because we kind of had problems with this.
Because I'm not gonna set up getting everything done and everything set up for a clinic if the county isn't gonna, if we can't get it supported by the county.
Are you asking for a one-time deal then?
A one-time event,
One Saturday?
one Saturday, 4 hours,
What kind?
3 hours, 9 to 12.
How many people are you expecting?
I would hope a couple hundred. I have no idea. All we can do is push for it. Sometimes they show up and it's really good. When we did the H1N1, they came in on time. But this also keeps your county employees from having to take off time through the week to come in and get their flu shots. They can come on that Saturday, county employees can come in on that Saturday and get it done.
What are your hours during the week?
8 to 12 and 1 to 4. So, even your county employees were closed at lunchtime, so I have to stay over or stay after work to try to count for everybody anyway.
They would have an hour. The highway department starts 7, so they would have an hour to come in and get their flu shots if they so
I
desire.
think they're the only ones that came in last year. A lot did not come in, because I would not go to their office to take care of them. I know, I've gone to the courthouse a couple times and, but I'm just saying, for the community at large, those people who work through the week, can you get to my office between 8 and 12 and 1 and 4 to get a flu shot? It's very inconvenient. And I would just like to do a Saturday mass drill, get it done, get the experience in. But I can't guarantee, because I don't think Chris can get off through the week. He's busy trying to catch up on his job. I don't know about anybody else would take. It can't be that big expensive.
So the entire department shuts down 12 to 1 every day?
Yes. Unless they're called out to do something, But sometimes we're out
Right, I'm not talking about additional
Yeah,
time shutdown,
but no.
I mean,
12 to 1 every
Happy
day.
hour at lunch.
12 to 1 every day.
so nobody does like a staggered 11:30 to 12:30 and
Don't go there.
12:30 to 1:30 to keep the office open.
Don't go there. I'm not in charge of the office. I'm in charge of my department.
Well, it's definitely a community service. And if you're gonna go down flu and sickness in the county,
Yeah, and 8 to 12 is 3 hours. You know,
So
not
Well,
4.
yeah, it'd be takeout Sandy for.
Yeah.
Just
I'm
take out
hoping not
Sandy.
to.
county access time.
I'm hoping to have everybody show up at 9, set up, and be ready at 10, and close it at 12.
I understand what you're saying, but what we say is gonna make a difference to 125 people.
I understand that too.
That's gonna create a problem.
I understand that
We
too,
go-
but it never hurts to
We take one
ask.
department and do it different,
That's true.
then all of a sudden, the next time, somebody's gonna say, well, you did it for them. Can we do it this way? Well, no. You know, there's gotta be some type of decision made, and
And you know,
I
and
just really can't believe between now and the end of the year that the staff would not want a half a day off. At some point, I just can't believe that.
you're pinning
They
me
wouldn't
down
be
now,
able-
aren't you? I cannot account for my staff, because they're not my staff, they're
I
the health department.
understand.
But
it
all I
seems
can
to me-
do is ask, and all you can do is say one or the other.
And I would say that would be a good deal for somebody to come in and work a half a day, you know, and take off.
Closer to Christmas, when they need a shot.
I mean, they got from now to the end of the year, Peggy.
Oh,
Well,
okay, that's
till
a,
November
That's a long
you know,
time.
so, and that is a long time, I thought we had to do it in that week.
No, it's
No.
November 30th.
No.
So that's okay,
You gotta
maybe,
use it up by.
maybe if I
November
could
30th.
propose it like that.
Yeah, tell them to go Christmas shopping in half a day or something.
All right, but it never hurts to ask.
I would go along with letting them have the comp hours,
Okay,
but.
That's the only way I can do it.
As the comp hours.
Take it off.
okay, that's fine, just so we can,
We've really pressed that on a lot of people.
never hurts to ask.
No, you're right.
Yeah, so, all right, okay, that's all I
I put
need.
that in motion.
Yeah, well,
You'll second that, Phil, if you don't know.
basically, we're not changing anything, we're not allowing it, so we're,
No.
they have to stick to the policy.
Okay, all right, thanks anyway.
One,
Thanks,
Randy.
Randy.
Morning, Randy. I'd asked Randy to come in, we had an incident, 2 weeks ago, where people called some chickens running wild in, I think Canton area, and I asked Randy about the animal control ordinance, and I know we're all concerned about the money situation. I guess my question is, how do you feel? I know chickens is a nuisance to some, but reading through the ordinance,
How many were out there?
Probably 15 or 20.
I'd also ask Claude to come in at 9:30 to be here too. Do we need to change animal control, or the ordinance of
Possibly, I'm
what
not
is a
agreeing.
necessity?
I don't understand that question.
A chicken is not a life or death situation, but then Claude told me it could be because of disease. If it's next to a daycare center. But when they called him out, I guess I'm looking at the cost factor of animal control, trying to conserve. I don't know what I'm asking for. I mean, the importance, what I don't consider to be life or death, does have our argument on the other side, could lead to something. But then when I read this, it doesn't really say But with us, the money situation is a factor. We can't keep going, spending more and more on certain things. And where do we need to put a stop at? What animal control is in charge of? Is that a fair question?
Can I interject? Thank you.
Yeah.
I think you got a difference between a farm animal and a pet, or a domestic animal. That's your differentiation that you got. This chicken deal is basically a farm animal. Are you gonna go in and put everybody's calves back in their pasture? Are you gonna go and put the pigs back in their pasture? It's the responsibility of the owner of the farm animals to keep their animals contained.
Well, that's where, this doesn't explain that, and they
I know
don't
you
know where
don't
to go
give
to.
you don't give the description between a farm animal and a domestic animal.
And when these animals get loose, it's homeowners or farm owners'
Responsibility and
I
liability,
understand it, to take care of that situation, if something
insurance,
arises.
liability, all of that.
Well, when dispatch gets a call from the public, they said, they call him, but my question is, at what point does he need to say no?
Well, I
Do we
don't,
define farm animal?
chickens, I don't see that as a problem. You said one time you got called out with a snake.
Animals.
I've been called out state several times.
You know, I don't, to me, that's not a problem we need to face unless it's a cobra or something like that running loose out there in the country someplace. It's a threat to society.
I've been called out pig, goats.
I really don't want the animal control ordinance start jurisdicting over top of farm animals. That's my concern. I mean, even though it's chickens, maybe in a area, but I don't want to make that differentiation.
I mean, because Councilman Moore has a point. Every time someone's pigs get out or cattle get out, I mean, you run into that. Is that going to be within, are we going to call the county out to get those animals? We also get in situations where some people have free-range chickens and they'll walk out or whatever, and we need to be careful also. I'm not, nobody misinterpret this, but depending on what you tell Randy to do, lots of times government officials, court officials, police officials, animal control officials can be used as a pawn in a neighborly dispute also. There's times when someone might not like the fact that someone's got free-range chickens running around, and they'll call animal control, and when you go out there, as soon as you appear and start walking towards them, they turn around and walk back onto the property. 5 years ago, we had an article in the paper about a rooster at Canton that was this adorable rooster that named Fred or whatever, that, you know, it was a community asset. And we were writing, you know, Marcia wrote an article in the paper about it. I don't know if anybody, it was a well-done article.
Yeah.
And then now we're talking about calling animal control on it. I mean, I don't know if you see the point. I mean, I think you've been called out, someone saw a snake in the road.
Yeah.
There's only so much you can do, and when someone has, I mean, there's cats in the neighborhood that walk across my property. I don't call Randy. By the time you get there, it's not going to be there anymore.
Yeah, we have chickens, okay? So what is that, what was the complaint? I mean, how was the complaint worded?
She don't want them roaming in her yard. She's getting tired of every morning getting up and they're in her yard.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, so, you know, they do that. They do that. Yeah, I mean, she has a right to her property and what have you, but I don't know if it's animal control. And maybe, you know, like you are being used as a pawn. I mean, you know, in a neighborhood dispute.
I think there's a line between the whole thing. I kind of agree with Dave. Any type of farm animals, which chickens would fall in that class, cattle, you know, anything like that, pigs, would fall in that class. And that should, maybe we should reword the ordinance, Tom, to say this is a property owner's responsibility, that will be liable, insurance-wise or whatever, make them totally responsible for that. whenever someone calls you, if there's some animals in their yard, ask what kind they are. You know, if somebody's cow gets out and gets in somebody's yard, that's not your responsibility. If they can't get it out, then call the county sheriff's department, send a deputy out and take care of it. Go through the legal aspect of it instead of running you all over the county. I've got your reports on how many times you get called out in 1 month, and that is ridiculous.
Oh, yeah.
And some of the animals you're called on is totally ridiculous. I think that was the one with the skunk in the road and the snake in the road.
Now, on the flip side, cows and pigs normally are contained. They're not free range. You know, Dave doesn't have free range hogs running around. And if animals are not contained in the first place, that, even if they're farm animals, there is a distinction there. And,
Even free-range chickens ought to be contained.
They're still property owners.
yeah,
Yeah.
so I don't know if there's a
They'll be on their
situation
property.
where they're contained or not, because I've been by properties where there seems to be, not in this county necessarily, but I'm just driving down the road and there's just chickens just walking all over someone's yard.
At any point I drive to West Washington School, there's areas that I have to slow down because I know that I'd hit ducks if I don't, correct?
Right.
And, you know, that they're there, but now a next door neighbor, if those same ducks, which apparently nobody has a problem with because you don't see one getting hit, but just occasionally. If the neighbor had a problem with them and called, then that would be a county sheriff issue, to go to the property owners and tell them, get them contained, or keep them from getting on the road, okay? But I don't see that animal control would need to be called out on any of that type of service.
Like, unless they're not contained at all.
Well,
My
it
question
still fall in the county sheriff's department, get them contained.
Yeah, but every time an animal is mentioned, it's going to him.
Then
He
he
don't
needs
know
to
where,
ask.
he don't know where he can turn down what.
Then he needs,
And in all likelihood, if he turns it down, and then do they have the right to come further up to us?
they would have the right to go to the county sheriff's department.
And that's what I'm saying, where,
That's what I'm looking at.
Right, but we forget he's a sheriff's deputy.
Then he
And-
don't
and
go-
he is part of the
He
sheriff's
don't fall under county control, or under animal control.
Well, yeah, he does, because the animal control officer is now a deputy in the sheriff's department. I think that was the whole purpose of that, was the sheriff, our animal control ordinance provides that enforcement shall be by the Washington County Sheriff's Department. And so by making our animal control officer a deputy, that is in effect, I don't mean to step on anyone's toes, but I mean,
Right.
he was made a
Yeah, I
deputy
can
for
write
the,
a ticket.
he writes
Citation.
tickets.
It will change your authority though, to where you write a ticket or citation, you can go out and pick the animal up or do whatever.
yeah, but that brings up another thing. What do we do with chickens if we pick them up? We have no hold
Yeah,
in for them.
that's,
We don't need
that's
to
what
do
we're
You
at.
don't want to
You
pick every
wouldn't
farm
pick 'em up.
animal
just a
once.
citation like
Don't
Dave
pick
said.
up.
You won't want
Farm it.
1,400-pound steer up there with a dog kennel.
No. Don't do it.
I've had a pig up there before. I've had to pick up a pig.
Yeah, but we seen in court, they got 4 chickens in it.
I know,
A
but
whole
that
run.
was, they
My
had that
question-
contained, that was a jurisdiction, that was a court order by a judge.
Right.
Where they had animals penned and were in containment in that for breeding purposes and whatever, and that was the judge's decision to stick that in there in that humane society.
Well, we don't have a holding pen for chickens.
We don't want to start
Is
there.
his job gonna be to catch chickens?
No,
Well-
there's a difference between writing someone a citation for not keeping their animals confined and picking them up and taking them in.
There, now.
There's a difference,
I think
and there is
Dave's got
a
to answer it, the citation.
Just write a ticket.
Run them a ticket.
Yeah, just because a chicken will, that's why people let them out, is because in the evening, they always go back and roost, always. So if you're out there in a yard chasing down chickens, that's wasted energy, because they're just gonna go back to where they go to sleep anyway in the evening. So, you can go ahead and write a ticket if you want to, but if you're chasing them around the yard, that's gonna be a lot of wasted time, because they're just gonna roost anyway. They're not like hogs or cows or anything similar to that nature. So, if you want to go chase them and be Chicken George, that's good, but
Your responsibility would be on any type of farm animal is not to pick them up or bring them in or anything, but go to that property owner and write them a ticket. So you don't keep them contained, you pay a fine.
Are we gonna give him authorization then to write a
You already
citation?
have it.
Already have it, yeah.
Are you writing tickets on it?
Deputy.
No, I haven't wrote any, that's the reason,
No,
I just kind of, wait and see what you guys want to do. I mean, I can
That's
start
what
writing
we
more
asked,
of them,
yeah.
probably.
So
So you're not writing any type of citation or anything because, I'm taking this because we haven't defined what you're to pick up and what you're not to
Right.
pick up. Is that what you're,
Right.
so that's what we need to do, is define
That's what I'm saying.
farm animals versus domestic animals. Write the ordinance that way, and then you know which direction to go. You know to go with your ticket book if it's
We do
chickens or
have,
cows or pigs.
we do have a provision that says it shall be the duty of every owner or custodian of any animal to exercise reasonable care and take all necessary steps and precautions to protect other people, property, and animals from injuries or damage which might result from the animal's behavior. And basically, damages includes trespass. I mean, you're to keep your animals on your property.
Yeah, especially chickens, they're nasty.
It says any animals,
And it, yeah, but it also, when I was instructed to write this in 2006, there was a specific issue that we were addressing. And I contacted the commissioners in the drafting and asked to make it a little broader because I anticipated there would be other issues. But really what we had was a need for a noise ordinance, everybody thought, because it was the result of a complaint of a barking dog. But we went ahead and said, look, instead of making a noise ordinance, let's make an animal control ordinance because we're gonna have issues with animals running on other people's property and stuff like that. It does distinguish between domestic animals running wild versus all animals. Because and it does treat them differently. Because it also talks about keeping your dogs tethered on leash and all that. It doesn't talk about your chickens being tethered on leash. It talks about dogs and not running wild. We wrote in an exception for hunting dogs while you're hunting, as long as it doesn't have to be tethered, as long as the owner is nearby.
So we have that in the ordinance to where you could exercise that?
Basically, I mean, we could be a little more specific in this subsection C where it says every owner or custodian of any animal has to exercise reasonable care and take steps and precautions to protect other people, property, and animals from injuries or damages.
So can we detail that and add domestic versus farm animals or whatever?
Well, we could just say you got to keep your animals combined on your property.
could we say after,
Fine, brother.
after one warning, citations could be issued?
I don't think they,
No.
that's up to the discretion, just like a speeding ticket.
Right off the
You may or may not get a warning, you may get a ticket right off the bat.
Question then, if he writes a citation, then where does that money go to? Who gets it? Where does he turn it in at?
Goes to the court. Now, what's dispersed at after that, I actually don't know who gets.
Can it go back to
I don't know if it
animal
goes-
control department?
Nah, they'd be involved, but they'd have to.
That I don't know. I don't know how the money fluctuates. I don't want to find that out.
I don't know. We've not done this. It's not done. It's not broken, so we don't
No,
know.
no. It's like,
So it'd have to be in one of the law states.
it's $97.50 total when you write one. $97.50 total for courthouse and $100 fine.
So the cost would be divided up and, I mean, it's,
So in
it'd be like the law says.
At the animal shelter, when you go in and buy a dog or pay for a dog or have one spayed or what have you, you pick one up, and you pay them there, where are they putting that money at?
It goes to the Humane Society.
That goes to the city.
City, Humane Society. City gets like $10, and the rest of it goes to the Humane Society.
And you have any of the pets you bring in,
No,
and then people,
no, we pay lease on that. Phil.
You don't get nothing out of the county animal that goes up there.
right, I'm trying to make money. We're having problems here.
I guess, Tom, what we would need to find out is where does the after we paid 100 in court costs, where did the other 100 go? I don't know.
Be more than the value of the chickens.
Yeah, say to keep them on the property.
Well, say, I bet it goes to the Humane Society.
Fine, they paid 200.
I'm gonna say it's like, goes to the
I don't
Humane
know if I paid
Society.
$200, I'll be eating a lot of chicken and dumplings. So basically then, it's to your discretion, but the difference between farm animals and domestic.
Okay, well, yeah, and every owner of a cat, I mean, theoretically, if we start addressing this, if someone has an outdoor cat, a farm animal cat that's out there catching mice and it wanders onto someone else's property, it's a violation of the ordinance. And animal control should be called and people, well, that's when you're drafting something like this, it's hard because you anticipate some of these scenarios and think, okay, is this really something we're gonna get into?
But really, a cat is a domestic animal.
It's not
It's
production
not a
agriculture.
farm animal.
It's not production agriculture.
Okay, so we want to write it in a way that where cats are allowed to wander into other people's property, but dogs aren't, or
No,
chickens
no.
aren't?
Any of the domestic animals, animal control will be called.
Right. Okay.
If a cat wanders on somebody's property and they want you to take care of it, take care of it. Or if a dog wanders on somebody's property and wants you to take care of it, take care of it.
Well, that's impossible, because by the time he gets there, the cat won't be sitting there on their
Oh,
property.
no doubt.
It's walking across.
Well, normally what they do is call you, if I'm direct, they call you, you go out and set a trap.
Yep.
That's what'll happen.
That's your man.
Oh,
I think this complaint is actually in a little village or a
Yes,
small town.
out there on the track side.
Well, that's a common issue in there, because even in Indianapolis, they have an issue with free range in backyards and stuff like that, but they have to keep them contained within their, so there's language out there for this.
He got a whole trap line set up again.
You get a chance, Randy, to make a lot of people happy.
You keep them all happy. Tip off.
I think once word gets out that, people with farm animals, keep them contained, for neighbors are complaining about it. Some neighbors aren't going to say a word. But if they're complaining about it and it happens, and you do it, and they get a citation, it's not going to take many citations, and word's going to get out to where it'll stop.
So now do you want to write a citation per animal, or just?
I just do it to the owner. I do it on the shop. I mean, I wouldn't write 15 citations because you got 15 chickens out there. No. But I would write a citation, what happened? Which a judge would back you. I don't think a judge would back you with 15 different ones, no.
but that really is your discretion, how you do that.
If it's an attorney's chickens, 15 different citations. Especially if his name's Tom Cypress.
Right.
That pretty well clarifies it for you.
Yep. They took care of that.
Morning.
While Randy's here, I would like to report to the board, since I'm on the fair board, also, these guys done one excellent job at the fair this year. The grounds were immaculate compared to years in the past, and it was just a heck of a good job. And all I got was compliments on everybody I've talked to, so thank you for that. Thank you for.
Since the sheriff walked in, should we ask, about maybe he knows about the distribution of the fine money and his opinion on this? Yeah.
Yeah, I guess we can.
Sheriff Combs. We were talking to Randy Lee about chickens wandering on other people's property and kind of maybe it seems to me like the animal control ordinance addresses that, but I've been instructed by the commissioners to go ahead and draft an amendment or clarify a section in there about keeping your animals on your property. Because what it does is it addresses causing damages or injuries to other people, property owners, et cetera, which to me really doesn't cover it, but we can specify it. And then the issue came up, if someone is issued a ticket for a violation, there's a court cost plus a $100 fine that's in there. The question came up how that $100 fine, where that $100 ends up going. Do you have, because I don't know.
Well, it goes, unless it's designated, it should go in the county general, just go in the county general, I would assume. And then unless you set aside, and this would be my understanding of county government, unless you set aside a specific purpose in your ordinance for that money to go to, it just go into the county general fund and remain there to be, the rest of the money be used for whatever it need to be used for. Now, I would think, your attorney, that if you wanted it to go back to the operations of the animal control, you'd have to so designate it. Which, in my opinion, if I were going to do anything different with it, that's where I would put it, because that's where it's generated from. But that's only my opinion. If I were going to specifically say that I wanted that money to go to a certain place, then that's where I'd send it back to offset the use of the animal.
So when they pay the fine, then they pay it at where?
Clerk's office.
Clerk's office?
So that's your all decision, but that'd just be my take on what to do with the money. You know, you got gas, you got all kinds of stuff. You buy, occasionally you buy stuff that's outside your everyday budget. I think, like radio equipment and cages. I don't know how you budget for that, but you can use it for cages. You can use it for a lot of stuff that's used to operate animal control. That's in. We'll just put it in the county general fund. If you put it there, you have to appropriate it for it. If you don't, in a year, it's not going to be a non-emergent fund. I think you could probably set up you can check it out, but you could probably set up a non-emergent fund where that money stayed in that fund from year to year. Okay.
Keep in mind, we got a county councilman here, he's gonna get a lot of tickets.
Hey, David, I've been out past David's house, he's pretty, probably ought to.
There's gonna be a lot of citations, he wants every penny you can get.
Oh, he's greedy, I know. But, I mean, I do think there's a break in that, because we had a situation where we had here a couple of years ago with the very thing here, and people next door run a daycare center, and they're on over it, and John Reed seemed to think about 40 feet down.
Well, causing damages to someone else is covered, and but we'll specify that, we'll spell that out a little more clearly. And there's nothing wrong with doing that from time to time, just so it's clear. I mean, the purpose, you want to put people on notice of exactly what that means, so I don't have a problem with that. The only issue I have now is when I do this, you kind of like to cover everything in one fell swoop, and I don't know if you want to, if going back to the general fund is good enough, or you want to, in light of our animal control funding issues, which frankly we've kind of been working on, I think, do you want that to go back into animal control line item?
I'd like for you to define animal production to domestic. I think you don't need to be, this whole situation, I want to keep these farm animals, separate entities as far as how you handle it.
I can go along with that, but I really think the fund needs to go back to animal control for future purchases that that department needs, if it can be done.
Unfortunately, it's a shame you have to write anything, but you think, somebody's over there destroying somebody else's property, all you'd have to do is point it out to them, and they would fix that problem, but, it doesn't often happen that way, and that's the reason why you were here, I guess.
Hang on a minute, say riverboat.
You guys got that taken care of, I've got a meeting, I'm running late this morning.
No. See y'all later.
But
Now,
Okay.
It's behind the commission.
so you say you should go in the general fund?
Yes.
We'd be better off.
Our auditor advised us that it probably should go in the general fund, so if we could have a motion to that effect, if somebody would like to go that way, entertain a motion to that effect.
I'm gonna entertain a motion to go ahead and let's put it in the general fund. We'll examine this for the next year or so. You know, if you're in a river broke way, I don't wanna open a basket that we haven't closed, okay? But if we have it there, you know, if something's needed, you always come for appropriations. I think it's better to work that direction. Let's just concentrate on getting it into the general fund for at this time.
It could still be used for them
Well, it's still
if
good.
something comes up.
We have to get appropriations or something.
I'm having trouble.
It looks like
I'd like to just find out what the sheriff's position is.
Animal control is pretty good shape.
If you're comfortable.
Second, vote, you don't know.
Yeah, I can do it.
No, is that, you said the motion you're gonna make?
Yeah.
General fund.
Yeah.
Well, see, that's,
And I'll second that motion.
Okay, thank you. Dave made a motion, Phil seconded, that the citation funds be put in the general fund. All those in favor, raise your right hand. Unanimous. Thank you, Randy. Mark, come on up.
I would. I can't say it here.
I just did.
Mr. Shepherd?
My name's Mark Shepherd. I live at 7544 East New Philadelphia Road. That's the northeast corner of the intersection of Level Rats Road and New Philadelphia. It's right in the old town of New Philadelphia where the store used to be, it's now in a museum up there. My problem, there's a lot of truck traffic out there, loggers, and they can use the road, I don't have a problem with that. But they cut that corner, and they keep getting in my yard. Well, I reported that to Ricky Graves a few years ago, when he was the superintendent. He came out and looked at it. He said that, well, you know, we can put some riprap down there, keep them out of your yard. And I discussed it with the wife, and she said, no, you know, we really didn't want riprap in the yard, didn't look good. And so we thought we'd do something else. Well, I work out of town all week, or did, I don't now. My wife worked down in New Albany. When she came home one day, called me up and said they fixed it, they dug it up and they paved it. And so, you know, and I looked at it and that made me a little mad, but I thought, you know, it's a couple feet, I can live with it. But the problem is, they keep cutting the corner. What it is, you know, it's like, it's kind of cliche to say they make hay when the sun shines. Well, they log all day, they haul at night, and they can't see on that corner, so they keep getting into my yard. Well, they still kept running the yard, and then they come back and they patched it, and widened it out. And then they paved over it, so it's a good looking road. But I put some stones out there, big stones, dimension stones, like 2 foot by 18 by 12, a line of them around that intersection, so they couldn't, and I put them 30 inches away from the road, so they weren't right on the road. Okay, well, they came out and patched it again and moved it out. And then the other day, last week, I think it was, the county's out there again. I was home at this time, they put more asphalt down, they laid it down, and now they're right up against those stones. They take another 30 inches a yard. And I know that the asphalt grows, it's not a rigid, it's not like concrete. Concrete's there and it stays, but that asphalt's flexible and those trucks push it down and keeps it going sideways. That's why the road keeps growing. Something needs to be done about it. I want my yard back. I brought a couple of pictures here if I can show you. This is an aerial photograph here that I had at the house. Now it's about, I don't know, at least 15 years old, but I want you to see this angle right here on the yard right here. And I want you to notice this shrub. This is a Google shot I run off, get the right angle here, that I took just the other day. I showed it to the county deputy when he come out. This flagpole is right there where that shrub is. But look at this arc. Look at this one. So you can see how much is gone. If you were good at mathematics, you could figure out exactly how much is gone. Now, I know there's this 12-foot wide thing, but they never do anything over here. If they want to widen this, why don't they swing this out and give those trucks a little more room to run down here and make that corner? Now, I took this shrub out, I put this flagpole in, and I put a 100-watt metal halide bulb out there. That's about twice the size it needs to be. And I pay for that. It lights that intersection up. It's a safety thing, too. But I'm tired of them taking my yard. They never ask, they never call, they don't do anything. I understand the trucks are going to travel that road, there's nothing I can do about that, and, you know, that's their business, that's their livelihood, that's okay. But something needs to be remedied. What am I going to do now? What if a car cuts this corner? These are those stones I'm talking about right here. And this picture shows some grass. You can't see any grass there now.
Put guardrail.
Well, you need to put something. I'd hate a big old ugly guardrail, but what are you going to do? What I want is I want my yard back.
That would keep them out. So that you put the guardrail in, why, after it's paved over, I think that would get you up to lost.
You need to move the guardrail out here?
Yeah, and they give you your,
Well, I you know,
that's the only thing I see that could,
I suppose we could do that. I don't know about the guardrails, maybe some rounded concrete domes or something out there, something a little more sightly.
Sure. You come up.
But if you can see how much that's grown here.
yeah.
And now this other side,
Cut it off.
there's a utility pole right here, you can't see it, that would have to be moved to widen this, so they can't do it easily here, but here it's no problem. You know, it's flat, they just do it.
You mark that there, where it's been cut from there, back to there, what could get his yard back.
We can,
Other than a guardrail or something to get his yard back that's been lost.
we can go check what the right of way is on both those roads and go from there.
But this is not your district, he
It
said.
doesn't matter.
I don't know whose district it is.
Yes. We can check the right of way of this road and the right of way of this road and see what they can
Well,
do.
can I ask you why you don't take anything off the other side? You keep taking it out of mine? There must be 6-7 feet of my yard gone.
Which way, is the trucks going that way?
The trucks turn up Level Rats Road here, go to the next road and turn to the left.
Come
To
from
go out,
this way?
there's 2 lumber yards out there, one on Old
Exactly.
56 and one out on 56.
Exactly.
And they run it all hours of the day and night. When
Which way are they coming in from?
Well, they usually come this way.
Right.
But I drive a truck. Now, I know when you make that corner, you take your truck up here and then you turn,
Right.
and that gives you a wheel swing. But, so if this was wider here, they could do that. You know, put a little bit over here. I'd give my portion. It's about time you took some from somebody else.
What is this here? Is this trees or bushes or what?
That's a big tree and there's a utility pole right there, so it's not
Oh,
easy.
that you can't see.
Is there a high line through here?
Well, there's a single phase line that runs right through here and it tees off and goes, you can see it right here. See it, see the wire?
It's on this side there.
Yeah, but over here, there's a pole where it makes the road cross. The water company's got this all tore up right now. They've increased the lines out there.
They store up where that tree is, where that big tree is?
Well, they dug a ditch down through, they upgraded the line size. They put a 3-inch line, or a 4-inch line through here and teed into the main, which runs on this side of the road.
Temple to put the water deal in there.
Yeah, they've been out there about 2 months now working on it.
So if they cleared, if they cut out of that tree for that line in there?
Well, they dug as best as they could
No, I
right
mean,
there.
in the tree itself, and they cut the branches out to get away from
Not
the
the branches, no.
7,200.
No, they trim these trees.
Yeah.
The trees have grown back up. I think they'll probably trim them for sure next year, maybe this fall, I'm not sure. But you can see the lines over them right now. But I just, you know, I give some and let it go, and it just keep, every time that pavement keeps working to the side because it flexes, I keep losing yard.
It's on this side of the road.
That's a field. Bonnie Ewing owns that.
Fence there.
Yeah, that's his bench right here.
What is it?
It's big county road.
I would guess it's 15-foot from center. Probably both of them are that. This one might be 16.
sure, the main road there is probably 16.
16 from the center. I said to the courthouse, check both of them.
Who owns over there?
Vernon's the last name, but I'm not for sure. The people that own it aren't the ones that live there. They live in Georgia or North Carolina, somewhere over there, I'm not for sure. They haven't lived there for a long time. It's a relative of the owner that's living there right now. See, this line here's not perpendicular, it's on a skew a little bit, so.
Yeah.
That's another problem too. When they're turning that way, the trailer's gonna get over.
Yeah, but you see this right here, this worked fine. There was never a problem until them two sawmills went in there. And now, all of a sudden, they're taking my yard away over the past 20 years, or 15, whatever it's been. And I just said, it's got to stop. If it wasn't for those rocks, you can be 5 foot further up in my yard, but they won't run over them because it tears the tires up. But I don't want now, if some car comes around and hits those rocks because they're right on the edge of the road, am I liable? I have no way to prove that I put them 30 inches from the edge of the road. I mean, I told you I did it because I did, but I can't prove that I did. That's a whole different thing. It's like your chickens, you can't prove who belongs to them.
I mean, you can prove it, you got pictures.
Well, I got a picture right here, yeah, but I don't have a picture when I put the rocks in. It shows the, well, yeah, it does show the animal.
What's that owner? You said the owner lives out of state?
Oh, yeah.
Instead of a wraparound guardrail, what would happen if you put a guardrail right here and a guardrail right here? Just like a 10-foot.
You're probably gonna catch the trailer into the end of it.
And tear it up.
Can that swing wide enough then?
Well, see, they travel at night, that's the problem. During the daytime, they got great, they can see, but at nighttime, you can't see that rear end, but not at night with this light.
When you say you put the light in, has it been there a long time?
Well, it's been there, I don't know, I'd say it's been there 7 years. It's been there quite a while. I put 4 flags on it.
So they ought to be able to see it at night time.
Yeah. I mean, you can ask,
And
ask Scott Shopton, the deputy, he drives out past there all the time, or any of the deputies, they'll know where that light is. It's the only one out there that's lit.
we're gonna run it after the meeting.
Okay,
Okay.
well, I'll be up
Okay.
there. Okay,
Call Billy too.
sounds good to me.
That's it.
I can leave you this picture, but I can't leave that unless you really want it.
We'll just, we'll go out after.
Billy too.
Okay,
Okay, after the meeting.
appreciate that.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
And if there's any way we can widen that right away on the other side.
Yeah.
Yeah, just share that responsibility.
Philip will be there.
Okay, I'll be out
I'll
there.
be there. Your district foreman, hopefully be there. You'll call Billy Smother.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Thank you. Denise,
Good morning.
come on up. This is Denise Baxter, Denise is on the tourism board. They have a
My husband.
destination.
You can pull it right off Google.
I bet breakfast, gift shop, so you go.
I'm not sure I know you, I'm Tom Besser.
Tom Sykes.
I know you, Tom, thank you.
Have a seat and
Okay.
the floor is yours.
See this intersect, this curve? I can't hardly take it out there. It'd be a better picture if I could.
Indiana Department of Transportation, but the sign, Indiana logo sign group. And these are the signs that are going to be put on 56 and 60.
Mark Shepherd.
And they also.
That's
require
S-H-E-P-H-E-R-D.
Trailblazer signs.
Okay, thank you.
From, after you leave the main highway to the county road. And it's been interesting where county road is and city, and especially with the new bypass coming in. But we're having them turn left at Combs Road on 56, and so you can come straight down through to Fox's Grocery, come through that small road. And so we need 3 directional signs at each, one at each intersection, plus at Harristown Road, turn left, off of North Canton.
they're all called Canton Road in there, but we have the specifics, and I sent that in an email, and I can send it again. And then, also, there's a little bit of an issue over on 160, like we're gonna turn left at John Jones, and we've got work out there where the city ends and where the state begins and going east. But when we get on to 160, we're waiting for the state to say whether we can put a sign at Harristown Road because of the railroad crossing. So now we're gonna come back, we were thinking we'd like to do it at Beta Road. But once again, it's state, but where is it in county?
Wouldn't the state let you come so many feet back off from the railroad crossing?
They said if we did something on Harristown Road, it would be your call. Like if instead of on the right side of 160, like where you turn, if you did it somewhere in there, on the left.
On the highway, on 160, the state
No, it
said
would be on
actually.
Harristown Road, actually.
Yeah, but what's turning you off of 160 is what I'm concerned about.
Okay.
There needs to be a sign there to put you on that road right next to the railroad track.
And if they,
How many feet back does the state say that you could go before you could put a sign to say there?
I sent this gal Becky Myers a message about a week ago and haven't heard back. She was the one that said she hadn't checked further about the railroad crossing. So we could avoid that if we just turn left at Beta Road.
The Harristown Road is a better entrance though, because the Beta Road.
That's the way I always come out there,
Right.
that road.
The Beta Road has a single lane bridge on it and a kind of a sharp turn. So the Harristown would be the best.
Shoot you straight there.
Yeah. So whichever way we go, we would then need a road sign at the intersection of Harristown and Canton South Boston, just a straight arrow. There.
So we're looking at 5 signs, 5 trailblazer signs.
And Larry Zink has drawn up what he's proposed, and they're 30 inches by 12, and we're making it look kind of similar to what the state does with the bright blue with white. Just pretty much it'll say B&B Antiques, and then with the arrow whichever direction. And they would be metal with white letters.
So all you need is just our approval to put these signs up on there.
And I've been working with Desi at the highway garage as far as installation and
Did
everything.
you get my email back to you?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
I don't see anything wrong with it because it's another business coming into the county. We appreciate you all located here in Washington County, and we got 3 antiques up here if you want to put us on the
On the map.
Alex, Bridge, Tom, and Sarah. But we got 3 right here in a row.
My wife spends all kinds of money out there.
And your daughter finally made it.
I know.
I was afraid she couldn't find anything, and she said, no, it's not that, I want too many things. I'm like,
I think she knows the problem. Make a motion.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Thank you both for that. All those in favor of them putting those signs on the county, raise your right hand. Unanimous. Where'd you all move from?
Well, we, pardon me, we're in a Borden, between, well,
Summersburg.
really close to Dean Lake there, in Dean Lake area. And, you know, we kind of came out to the end of our drive and we were kind of looking for rental property, and we decided to go left instead of right, and left led us to Salem. And it's been a very, very good choice for us. We've really enjoyed this area. And at that time, we were living in Sellersburg, and we ended up just bringing everything to Salem.
We moved here, and I've gone to church here, and we enjoyed being part of the community. So, thank you very much for
We're glad to
listening
have
and
you
for
all.
representing. Come visit us.
Yes.
Just have more to say.
Yeah. Good people. I just knew it from the tourism board. Okay, Tom. Where'd Tom go?
I have
He was supposed to be included in that group. Yeah, Phil,
You gonna bring Les up?
after a while, yeah.
Okay.
Dave?
Oh. Got a report on the courthouse, county courthouse. I said last meeting, I would get with Tony and keep updated to the commissioners on the situation on the courthouse. Tony met with the company and wherever Tom's at, Tom should be giving us a report today on a company that done some examination of the courthouse. The leak is the roof that's been coming in. It's kind of been a situation where there's kind of a squabble between the company that's doing the fill-in of the stones and the people that's doing the roof. One says it's one that's causing the leaks, the other says the other causing the leaks, back and forth, just kind of well, the people that done the sides, I guess it's this company. Tom, where you at, man? I guess the people that's doing the sides done a study of the roof, okay? And what they did, they flooded the roof just to check it out. I said, well, let's find out where the leak's at. So they flooded the roof and shot water up there. And it leaked like crazy. So the area that leaks in the courthouse is the roof situation. Okay? It's been determined because water was shot in there when it wasn't raining. And they went inside and here comes the water. Okay? Around all the edges of all the flat part of the roof. Okay, now I think you got a report on this, or you're getting a report on a study that was made. If you don't have it now, you will have my next meeting. But around the edges of the flat areas, the water was running in. Around the ceiling of the chimney, around that, water's running in. So there's a number of places to where the roofing was at fault and causing the water to run in simply because they shot water up there and found out, okay? So.
Onto the roof and not onto the stone.
Onto the roof only, and water was coming in. So.
Was this done, I apologize for stepping out, was this done in the presence of the roofers or anyone, or just who?
Not the president. Well, the company that done this whole thing, this test, will be giving you a full report. That's why I kind of thought you might have it today. I didn't know. So if you don't have it, you will be getting it. I can't remember the name of the company.
So are they recommending anything at this point, or?
I recommend to fix the roof.
Yeah, because they're supposed to last how many years? What's the warranty on that?
I can't remember.
20
20 or 30 years?
But that's not a shingle issue.
No.
No.
The flat part of the roof is not a shingle issue.
It's kind of both, is it? Because around the chimney is a leak too.
Okay.
So you got leaks in a number of areas. The thing that really aggravates me is we spent all these thousands and thousands of dollars trying to fix a roof that we could have done with a little common sense and sealed them up.
Well,
And that really bothers me.
when that happened, we had shingles that were popping off the roof. We weren't addressing a courthouse leaking issue. We were addressing the fact, if I recall, Commissioner Mishler said, we've got shingles that are missing off the roof. We need to re-shingle the courthouse.
That's not the part I'm talking about.
I know, but the origin of the problem, because we have since been criticized for how we went about this project, externally and internally. And the whole thing started with Judge Bennett saying he believed he he'd had some people come and thought there might be some leaking issues in the stone, and our stone, our mortar joints were old and needed repaired and things like that, so he thought maybe that would be it. And once they got up there, they said, holy smokes, you guys have a bigger problem than what Judge Bennett hired us to do, and here's the issue, here's photographs, here's stuff, and we expanded the scope of that project. It was done on a piecemeal basis. The roof was the same way. We had shingles popped off, which means, okay, we need to reshingle the roof. Commissioner Mishler did some investigation to see, were we still under the warranty period? Unfortunately, the company was out of business. So we hired a roof, we bid it out for reshingling the roof, and in the process of that said, wait a minute, you guys have a problem here that has nothing to do with the shingles. And that's the way it happened. We didn't hire someone, an engineering company, to come in and say, take a look at our courthouse, tell us, what we need to be doing, and then help us draw up specs to bid this out on a comprehensive scale. We started off with a single little problem that turned out into a bigger problem and expanded, and then we saw another little problem, turned that into a bigger problem. And these things, lesson learned, these things will crop up if we don't take an approach to it, a comprehensive approach with, I think, with someone who says, okay, like an engineering company, to say, let's take let's look at all the issues and see what we need. This was done on a kind of a layperson status, hey, we've got some, this small issue, and then it grew from there. I don't know if that made any sense, but.
Yeah, it's, the original startup of the whole thing was to replace the shingles on the roof. I understood that. And the startup was to take care of the stones because people were actually believing that water was coming through, which they could have been. And there was a number of issues with the stones themselves. The keystones coming out of every window were dropped. An inch and a half or so, they all had to be put back. I mean, it was bad, real bad. I understand all that part. The part that really aggravates me is, though, we didn't get it fixed the way it should have been fixed, and we didn't put enough pressure on the companies doing this stuff to even get it done. Then we come back and said, well, we're still getting leaks. So then we go out and we get another contractor and come in, and he says, well, it's the rubber. We need to replace the rubber. So we do that. Then we up and do that, and then he says, okay, now it's done, and now this will do it. Then we come back and find out it's still leaking. We spent all these thousands of dollars, and it's still leaking. And we didn't get anything accomplished, only we made a contractor pretty happy because we put in his pocket. But we didn't get everything done that we needed to get done, and I blame us for that. That's our fault. We should have used a little common sense, and to me, it don't make any sense to go out and hire a contractor without maybe investigating the project a little bit closer and finding out, by golly, what we can do using a little common sense instead of all these contractors. I know contractors got to make a living, and I know they've got to do things, and I'll say it's a West here. I know people have to make money, but I think we need to examine every little thing that goes on, because sometimes a little common sense will go a long way. And this is just, all we need to do is get up on this roof and seal the fringe of this rubber and stop the leak in the courthouse. And seal the fringe around the chimney and stop the leak. That's where the water's coming from. Where it comes from is what we need to stop. We don't have to replace, we may not even have to replace the whole rubber top, but we did.
No, as I recall, the photographs of the rubber top showed it pulling apart and stretching and rotted.
Well, maybe we
So,
should. I don't know. I don't know.
It did. You were a commissioner at the time.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
So, I mean, the shingles were already at the end of their useful life. We've not, I don't believe that's wasted money. I think what we didn't do was say, hire someone to say, where's the leak coming from?
Yeah.
But we didn't want to spend money at the beginning. I distinctly remember that. So we started taking this piecemeal approach to save money. only to find out that because we never hired someone to find out where the leak's coming from, the best we did was stand on the ground with a hose and spray, internally. That's the reality of it.
It sure
So
costs
we didn't want to
you
spend,
money.
we didn't want to spend money to draw up specs to bid out the roof project, let alone hire someone to find out where the leak is coming from. We didn't, I remember that.
I don't think the flat roof become an issue until they run the manhole through that flat roof to make access, and then they start examining it a little closer, and the flat roof had issues too. Because they did put an access in there.
Well, there's some things you can do to a flat roof and some things you can't. Everybody knows when you build a building, you put a flat roof on it, chances are it's gonna leak eventually a lot quicker than a tapered roof. I mean, that's the way it is.
But you got a guarantee on this roof not to leak, don't you, in the contract?
We did not contract anyone to fix a leak. That's
I
the
mean,
problem.
You
We
contracted
contracted people
for a roof
to
not to
reshingle
leak.
the roof, and then they came back and said, here's photos of your flat roof, do you want that replaced or not? And
Sure.
if what they did isn't leaking, I don't know if it is or isn't, but I mean, if it's leaking where they put in a flat roof, then I think we go back on I'm not disagreeing with that, we go back on them.
I think so, because we first talked about getting two different entities to do this. And remember, we said at the time, if there is something that happens, one's gonna blame the other one. And this way, we don't have the one person to blame one company. So, to me, it's up to them to get the thing fixed, and that's why we did it. If there was a problem, they're the ones that should be liable to fix it. So, you say he's gonna get a report.
There'll be a report coming to Tom. This will be a study that a guy that had made, and I thought you might already had it, that's why I wanted you here before I said anything about it, because it's.
No, but I do have the architect that we hired to draw up the specs and oversee the roofing project. I have several photographs he sent me where there's
Well, I got
gaping
those.
holes not on the roof into the courthouse, and I think Phillips brought those up right now, where our siding job wasn't done.
Right.
Where are you saying, Dave, this leak's at now?
On the flats,
I don't think this shows any.
No.
And around the chimney.
and the chimney by the wood bell tower, that's where the water's coming in. And of course, those drain things,
But that's not.
and I don't know how you'd fix them, other than just put in new.
Sarah, where's that company from, do you remember?
The contractor was from Bedford. IT, maybe, I don't know. But they was from Bedford is where the contractor was.
Do we need a contractor to come in and talk to him one-on-one?
Oh, we will, once I'll be,
That's what I'd like to
Yeah.
see, face the guy, face to face.
Well, anyway,
We gotta start at Greensburg, get that picture.
looks like it, don't
It does.
It's one of the
Got a
branches.
tree coming out of our courthouse?
Somebody's having a vegetable garden
It's
on
one
the
of the
roof.
branches from greenhouses tree, green dirt.
That may be somebody's lunch eventually, Phil.
there were, the work that's being finally finished up on the mortar and the stone around the courthouse was necessary work irrespective of any leak in the courthouse.
Absolutely.
We have issues that are still unresolved that are huge liability concerns. And so, yes, we have spent a whole bunch of money, and no, we haven't fixed a leak problem, but I still see those as things that had to be done, because I'm not gonna,
The
Spell 'em all
courthouse itself,
out.
the courthouse itself, I don't have an issue with at all. I
but on the
know,
roofing,
I know for a fact, every window in the courthouse, you know, you take the keystone out of a window, the way the windows are made, and you take that keystone out, you're in big trouble. And every window that I've seen, the keystone had already dropped at least an inch and a
it
half
dropped and was
down,
down,
was coming down.
because the mortar had
And
dissolved.
it had to be redone. So, I mean, we're just looking at a dangerous situation.
And there's
I understand all that part. The only thing that really disturbs me is a roof that I think we could have done a lot cheaper, a lot more economical, and a lot better. And I think it would have stopped any leak from the top. And I kind of blame us for that. I don't.
Well, we did need new shingles kind of like the siding. When shingles are missing, and we were 25 years into a 30-year shingle, it was time to
Oh,
reshingle.
I agree, we need.
So I don't, and if we bid it out, I don't know how we could have gotten that done cheaper. And then with the rubberized surface cracking and rotting, and we bid that out, I don't know, that needed to be done also. The issue is though, we still have a leak. So I don't know that we could have gotten it done cheaper. I mean, there may be quick fixes to stop a leak, but those things still need to be done.
Who did you have go over and look at it, Dave?
Tony. And the
Okay.
guy with Tony was, gosh, I can't remember what that was.
What is his title?
He was the
I'll have to get with Tony and find out. I should have wrote it all down whenever I was talking with Tony.
Well, the guy that's gonna give Tom the report,
That's who I'm talking about, and I can't remember his name.
but I mean,
But
is he,
you'll be getting it.
is he
He
a
done a
roofer?
whole study on it.
Is he a roofer?
Well, he does kind of checks on all these. I think he's a contractor.
But it's an independent person. We don't have,
This
we've
ain't-
got two contractors pointing their fingers at each other.
Yeah,
Now we
so
can-
this is not somebody that's gonna just come in and take one side or nothing. He's just gonna find out, this is your problem, you know, it needs to be fixed. And that's a report that Tom will be getting. But I can't remember his name for that.
Well, I think first of all, we need to see what the report actually says before we
Yeah,
go to the
I
next
was
step.
really hoping that we had it today. Anyway, I told you I would keep updated on the courthouse, so there's that update. The next thing,
I think we're gonna invite him in the next meeting.
as you know, we pretty well own the town of Fredericksburg, which I hate to say. This is a map.
Places under the Chinese.
Is this pretty well it, Gerald?
I believe that's,
This is the whole thing.
be the whole thing.
Is the orange the floodplain, Gerald? Lot lines.
All those are the lots.
How many
You don't have
parcels
any.
are there altogether, Dave?
We have 29 parcels of land in Fredericksburg that we're responsible for.
How lucky we were to get that.
Gerald, it don't show any of what we have and what the individuals have. I don't think.
Those are yellow squares up there.
Well, those are parcels.
So there's 29 altogether.
Anyway, there's 29 lots here that we're responsible to take care of. We had to get a tractor and brush hog, correct? Did we bid those?
Did not have to.
We didn't have to because they were under the, and Tom, that's why I wanted to question, to make sure we don't wanna go out spending money that's over what we gotta get bids for. And I called Tom and asked him about it, because that's, what did you tell me, Tom? We way under that. Thing under something.
20,
75.
79. Where's the town hall at? The town hall building?
Next one down that David. You got there?
Right here. Yes, sir.
Yep.
That's town hall, here's the park and the ballpark. But we're responsible to mow all these. That's why we had to get a tractor and brush hog dedicated to this.
Is there any stipulation with what we can do with that ground?
We're gonna have to ask our attorney, because man, I'd like to sell it all.
Let me
I
ask
don't
you,
think we can.
okay, I don't think we can sell it, but rather than grass, which is constant growing up,
Well,
is there no way
we
we can
could
put
tell
timber in there?
Tom, did you say it could be used for building code?
Something about the FEMA, wasn't it? Some of it.
Is there
Floodplain bill?
But some of these parcels,
I could have brought the deed language had I been advised in advance that we were gonna talk about this, because every time it kind of comes up, I can just kind of go from memory from a year and a half ago or whenever it was, but basically,
Well, I apologize.
because,
I just got it.
that's all right, but I'm just, because people were bailed out because of a flood with tax dollars, they don't want private use of the people coming in and rebuilding and then having to get bought out again while you're in a floodplain. So there was a deed restriction put in, and a contingency on receipt of that money was that it has to be held open for public use and can't be subject to private structures and things that would ultimately be eligible again for future benefits should there be a flood. So we can transfer the property, but we can't transfer it without a deed restriction.
Okay.
I want to clarify. So no, my point is, I don't see anyone buying, spending money on a lot that they have to hold open for the public to use. That would be against their best interest. So it is not a, the way I understand it, it's not, we can't just say that, well, we can't sell it, we have to hold it. I think you could, if you could find someone who actually wanted to buy it and hold it open for public use. If there was a foundation or a
Nature
philanthropist,
Conservancy or something like
Nature
that.
Conservancy, you know, it just, it's one of those things where,
And really, to me, Nature Conservancy is probably the best fit if they would be interested in it, because they keep those lands open for the public in there, and they do have funds, to generate, but with the restrictions that you've got. I mean, it's hard to see a private owner be wanting to do
Benny
that.
talked to me about which ones does he want?
Either that or have their park.
So we need to set a price, I guess, on about what Fredericksburg Park. Buy it
Well, let me-
with restrictions that you're talking about. Because Benny Weathers had contacted Dave and contacted me, I guess his family's from that area,
right,
and he was interested in what,
they didn't sit there.
oh, okay.
Well, that's out of what we got.
Yep. But you got John Gammon's mom and dad right in there, I think at the foot of that hill. I don't know if John still owns any of that or not. They got rivers.
We don't own up in there.
No. The orange is ours, Dave.
No.
You just own from the highway north to the river,
Highway north of the river,
then
nothing on the south?
the highway south is,
Oh, yeah, we own one south.
Then
We
you
own
own
one
west.
back to the park.
the old lot west.
and the odd thing is, when Fredericksburg entered into this agreement with FEMA, regardless of whatever would have happened with Fredericksburg, there was the FEMA put in the restriction that those restrictions accrue to Washington County also. I mean, so we would be,
It's the same thing that happened in English, they bought out in
Yeah.
English, same thing.
Yeah.
So how did the golf course happen?
Or is it a public golf course?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. It's held open for public use.
It's owned by Lucas, so.
Yeah, Lucas got it now, it's nice.
Was it out of the flood zone?
Right.
So,
No, half of it is. The back nine is in town. Yeah.
Anyway, we had to get a tractor and road just to dedicate to that, which takes how long to mow?
He just started last week, he's not very further. He won't have it done.
That's the dilemma we're facing right now, and I don't know, I mean, we can't go in there and spray 29 lots, it's gonna look like a dead tank. I mean, it'd be nice, but we just can't do it. So it's gonna have to be mowed. The Lions Club, what we did for them to redo their building, and they're gonna keep a small area mowed, but not much. It'd be nice if somebody would, the Lions Club or somebody take the whole park over and mow it all.
If we
I
put,
mean, they could,
if we put trees up part of it, where we wouldn't have to mow it, for growth.
Just go out and mow around,
still.
don't be
Put
aggravation.
up, I mean, like woods.
If you're gonna keep it mowed down, it's gonna be basically just like your yard.
If we told,
Once you get it all mowed around once, it's gonna be time to start mowing around it.
if we told some property owners down there that we got these 29 lots, and some of them are fairly good size, and I know one year one farmer did, but if we gave them permission to go in there and round bale, that's legal, right? I mean, just go in there and take the hay off of it if you want it.
I mean,
Keep her mowed.
we should probably submit that out, you know, let
Like the
bid. And I want to clarify
That'd
something.
be quite a bit.
On the,
That's kind of like solid waste did.
when I get a phone call asking me what the legal requirements are, and what dollar amounts are involved in bidding, the statute's broken up, and it's not as simple. It's not just a dollar amount for everything, once that's all. The bidding process, the bidding rules relate to the purchase of supplies, which is defined as materials. So if you're purchasing fungible goods, then that's one thing, and that's where the 75 to 150, and 150 and over come in, when you're purchasing supplies. When it's a contract for services like this, there are no rules, unless you're hiring a bridge inspection company or something, an engineering firm, there's a whole grading process, but you know, the statute recognizes that you're not required, it doesn't make sense to force anyone to contract for services to the low bidder. Because if everybody if every NBA team hired the cheapest basketball players, it wouldn't have very good results. If everybody went to the cheapest doctor to treat their terminal conditions, they wouldn't have very good results. I mean, these services aren't fungible goods where one thing's as good as the next. So when it comes to services, basically we have an ordinance that suggests that we use our, you know, best reasonable judgment on what to do. I just want to clarify that because contracts for services and contracts for purchase of materials, don't mean to bore everyone, I do want to clarify that there isn't a difference.
No. Is there any houses or buildings on any of the lots that's ours?
Other than the town hall, no.
So, like liability
Well, the old
insurance
town.
on the property?
County does. If we own we have liability insurance for all property we own.
Well, no, I take that back, and what used to be the park is a nice shelter house that we own.
Yeah, they're on the south side.
You can't hardly see it for the horse weeds, but it's there. A nice building, but the weeds are,
It'll grow good, first weeds and Johnson grass.
oh, they're running, anymore.
No, it's not running.
He's the number one director.
There it goes here.
Anyway, I need to report to the commissioners, we did have to get a tractor and brush hog.
And this is gonna be a recurring issue, because it looks pretty bad if the health, or our own health department's knocking on our door, wanting us to take care of our own property.
At the top.
This, not that they did, I'm just saying, I mean, this is, I see this being a big issue in the future.
Where's that house that had on that?
There's the old point green, Chevrolet.
This is 150 right here.
Yeah.
Bridge. It's this.
Right, right, that's right, here, that's a big old building.
That's,
No, he's just asking.
They didn't take the house and build it.
outside of
They didn't take the house inside out, pushed it together. Did it.
I don't know which one's big enough.
I think the orange ones, a couple of orange.
Well, if I'd known Gerald brought that green in today, I brought that other man that I showed you all that.
That's where their trash was, that's their major.
That's out of ours.
It's there by the river. She's still living in that. She took the buyout and stayed. If she gets flooded again, she's on her own. And this is Duncan House. It
The
was
order,
Uh,
oh, yeah, she's dangerous, it's a man.
Somebody said American Pickers was coming down there. Shit up and down.
let's move on.
Yeah.
Anything else, Chris?
Well, I'm gonna look at the deed restriction. I've got a note on my to-do list.
Yeah, one
Deed
strip.
restriction. Figure out.
Weeds down there.
The only thing I'm coming up, the only thing I can think of is maybe we, you know, if there's a way we can advertise it, or a way we can do something to maybe next spring, because I don't, it's too late now, but maybe next spring we can maybe advertise or let people know, look, if you're interested in bailing this area here or whatever, I mean, I wouldn't care if somebody wanted to put out a garden plot in one of those 60 by 120 plots, you know, do it, that's that much, we don't have to mow. But right now, we're dedicating one man, and it's out of my district, but one man is dedicated to, and once in the spring it starts, it's gonna be an everyday job. It's not gonna be a little partial time. You're talking 29 lots, and you don't know what you're gonna run into.
If you're gonna offer for hay, would you be better off to advertise it now so they can prepare the ground for next spring's cutting?
Well, whenever we need to do it, Gerald will have to take care of that, 'cause I don't know much about farming.
I'm prepping by fall.
I mean, right now is when they're gonna do what they're gonna do, if they're gonna bail it, so really we should advertise now.
No, absolutely not.
Well, there's people out there wanting hay right now, but not in the shape it's in, so they're gonna have to get ready this fall for next spring's cutting.
Tickle me, you know.
So we need to advertise it now.
Solid waste had people in.
Yeah, I know it's solid waste, we've had people which.
I know that right now, today, we got, the tractor that you got wasn't added a day before he hit something and broke it, correct? I mean, it's this quick. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff down there, so you don't know, when you're in weeds, you can't even see across your front bumper, the front end of the tractor, you're gonna hit stuff, so it's gonna happen. But right now, today, my foreman has all the guys busy, and I have a foreman sitting down there on a tractor running a brush cutter, trying to keep caught up, you know, and that's ridiculous. But that's the way we're stuck doing that stuff, and when it's getting to the time now where we're gonna have to have all of our guys out on these roads in all three districts, because there's a lot of roads that we're looking to blacktop next summer, but we wanna try to get them sealed this fall. That's what Temple and Temple told us, it's best to seal them in the fall, let them get set in so that water don't get down there and ruin the roads.
see if there's any interest in, anybody interested in this ground to bail
Fine,
for next year's contract.
Yeah, because we're talking about a few yards here.
Yeah.
That's a good idea, I think.
I mean, let's go ahead and advertise it and see if we got any interest on anybody doing it.
Are the lots all together? Are the lots all together? So
No, some of them are, some
The
of them aren't.
biggest majority is where the old park, from the old town hall there, immediately behind it, all the way back to the end of the park. That's your biggest area that I know that they went in and built that last year, year before. That's the biggest area right there.
Yeah.
There's a few acres there.
Did you ever talk to Jacoby's out there?
They're mostly grain barns, I don't know if they've been interested in that.
No, I was talking about Jacoby Implement. Brian or Billy?
That's what I'm talking about, they're grain barns.
Well, yeah, out there at Lee's. And then out there at the Coast Place. But they go down into that lake.
Well, if you want to bid it out, we need to put it in the paper, right?
Yep.
I think if you can get somebody to do it, seed it, and cut it, you better just let them have it.
I just said, advertise it.
We'll just advertise and see who comes up.
Yeah,
Because they're going to have to seed it.
It's gonna be free ground.
yeah.
They have to till it, seed it.
You may get something general.
I don't get nobody for that.
Who knows?
I don't get nobody for that.
No, we'll take money.
No, yeah.
Cost savings for us.
Yeah.
That's all I got.
Sarah? Last one?
Yes, sir. Okay, I'll give you a little booklet of pictures there. If you want to kind of go through that, and I can kind of talk this too.
Looks like you lost a little weight there.
Yeah, I did, and I started wearing pink. Yeah. And actually, that is Paul out of our office that comes up and does the pictures or the minutes and everything for our progress meetings and things. But this is just the base of the retaining wall and how they started. And as I was talking with Tom earlier, meaning that I've had some people ask about, well, why do you all put a basement in this building? And if you look along the edge there, you'll see the southern Indiana limestone is not very deep on that site. Once we'd started cutting, we'd hit solid rock, and then you'd have been busting, blasting, and just next to impossible for a basement. So, but anyway, this is kind of the beginning of that retaining wall, and I kind of progressed it, you know, as they set it and the progress and the process of setting it. You know, they just, of course, it came in piece at a time. All the back of it is filled with just clean crushed stone gravel. They have, on this next picture, you can kind of see the tie backs there. There's a metal strap that goes onto each one of those anchor points. It's bolted onto that, and it runs back into this gravel about 30 feet. And then the weight of the gravel and the material on that metal strap, it's a heavy galvanized, it almost looks like a little ladder strap that had crossbars on it. That pressure, that static pressure is what holds the wall in place. And, you know, and if you look, and we went up to RQAW for a meeting, and after we designed this, got to looking at it, they've got these things along the interstate everywhere, you know, around Indian places, so that, I mean, they're used a lot around interstates and stuff for retaining walls. And of course, then here's, you know, of course, the basic finished product. There's two pieces of stone coping that has to be formed and poured in because they're an odd shape, odd angle. So all this straight coping is set, and then when they start pouring concrete, they'll form and pour this in and finish that coping to where it'll blend in and match in with the rest of it. But, turned out very nice, I think, and, it's, very, I won't say pretty, but it's, it'll be an attractive feature to the site. You know, of course, they're bringing topsoil around and everything on that.
Yeah, and that was the topsoil that we scraped to the side and saved.
Yeah, we piled all of it over to one side, and now it has all been brought over and put on
Along the bank on the
and we
outside.
had lots of topsoil, believe me. A lot of good dirt, good topsoil there that we've replaced back on that slope. This next two here are just pictures of the site, of the film process. If you look at the small orange flag there that's out there kind of in the middle, that's the actual corner, would be the southeast corner of the pod. And the others aren't really visible from there, but it's the building pad elevation is, and of course there's another one, but it's up right now within about 2 feet of the finished elevation.
We're still going up 2 more feet.
About from where it is right now. If you happen to walk out there now and you look back up against the existing building, they're bringing that level out, and that's the actual finished subgrade of the dirt. And so they're bringing that out, and they're doing what they call benching. They're bringing it up in 8-inch lifts, and they kind of stair step it. They'll come back and they'll take a pass and they stair step it up again, and they roll and compact and test and all of our, so far, I mean, it's really been good material that they've brought in there. Yes, sir.
This picture right here is the flag you're talking about?
That's the flag I'm talking about, that's actually.
Southeast corner?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so how many feet is?
Southwest.
Southwest.
Yeah, southwest.
The jail's east of this flag.
Well,
I
yes.
know the jail's the east of it, but
That's the east side of the building, and that's the southwest corner.
The southwest corner, yeah.
southwest.
Not southeast corner, I'm sorry, you've got
If this is the southeast corner, I
Yeah.
thought the pod attached to the original jail.
Well, that's the build, and I've got a drawing over it, but our box is out here,
You're right.
and then we tie in to the existing building, like that. And this area here is between the existing building and the housing pod.
So there's another area that you're gonna build connecting the pod to the original.
Correct, and that's what houses the laundry, the
New
new
kitchen.
kitchen and all that, and the connector corridor.
So how many feet is that?
It's about 40 feet off the building there across, something of that nature. But anyway, we're still working, again, I'm gonna say this week, very possibly by midday tomorrow, they'll have this dirt up to grade, tested, and everything's all in place there, looking good. Sometime this week, we're gonna go ahead and start pouring, digging up for the laundry area and the kitchen area. We're gonna start the footings in that area. The guys are out there now, they're prefabbing rebar and cages and stuff that actually will set and go into the footings as they pour. They're tying them up out there, and they'll bring them with a forklift and set them in place, and then pour the concrete. This pad area out there where all this fill work was done, which, let me back up, where the kitchen laundry is at, there's no fill. It's basically, it's a cut. So we're on existing ground there, so it's kind of undisturbed. But out here where we've done all this fill, we've got these monitoring plates that we had to put in and monitor for 30 days. Our 30-day monitoring period is going to be up on Thursday the 22nd. So, in all indications of our weekly monitoring of those areas is that the settlement is just very minimal. I mean, it's just almost nothing. So,
Loads that you have to bring in there to bring it up.
I'm thinking about 1,300, 12 to 1,300 loads of approximately 20 yards per load.
What was it you said you got?
Well, some of it came out here off Martinsburg Road, Martinsburg Road, out here, Ken Temple owned a piece of property. I think he brought some of the fill from there, and then the rest of us came from the quarry. Just the overburden where they cut off before they blast or and all that, but it's all been good, hard red clay. It's, you know, the moisture content has been good and everything, you know, that we monitor they monitor the moisture, they monitor the compaction and everything in that, the placement of it, as we go up, and we do that every 8 inches. You know, all the way up from the very bottom down there where we started, every 8 inches, and on random spots out in there that we, you know, check this. So it's.
Is that compaction, is that being inspected by the state or?
We've got an independent inspection company or testing laboratory. It's Alton Listic is who's doing the testing. And they're, like I said, they're an independent firm that comes in and they're paid to do these tests and give us the reports. So, those have been testing well above spec, you know. We've got a 95% compaction specification, and I don't think we've had anything even really, you know, 95 and up. There's nothing even close to failing on it so far. I mean, it's just, well, good material.
Now, on those lines, we had to dig out what we already compacted to put in the retaining wall and then fill it back in, and that's where I see the photos of that gravel.
Yes, sir.
And, number one, there was dirt mixed into that gravel as you laid it, it seemed, wasn't there? I drove by one day and it seemed like there was some, or maybe that was just towards the end, as they were scraping the last of the gravel off.
Up the top, you mean?
Maybe, just in this, as they were filling this in, as they laid the retaining wall.
Yeah.
Was there dirt in there, or is
No.
that just gravel?
That's all pure, clean stone all the way down. Now, it'll have about a 3-foot cap of clay over the top of that.
And I guess my question then is, on the compaction, you said we had a 30-day compaction period. On that stuff we dug out and then replaced, and that's not dirt, that's stone, is there?
Well, see that stone, there's no really settlement or compaction on that. You know, because it's clean stone and it's, I mean, you put rock in a bucket and, you know, you can't pack it. I mean, it's full. Now, and let me, if I keep talking without drawing a picture, the monitoring of the settlement, see, we're monitoring every 8 inches the fill and the compaction. So that's not the worry or the concern on the settlement. We've got a slope there that we built, all right? And we've put all this dirt on here. Okay, so we put these plates down here, and they were on solid ground, compacted solid ground. And what they're monitoring is the after you load all this 1,300 loads of or fill material onto this ground down here, how much does it move? That's what we're monitoring. You know, and and our spec is 1/100th of a foot in a week. And most of them one of them has moved 1/100th of a foot, which is about 1/8 of an inch of that nature. And so we've had, you know, 1/8 of an inch of settlement on one of them, maybe 2 of them. The others have not moved at all. That's what they're monitoring is once they load all this weight of all this mass of dirt onto this on this grade, on this existing ground, how much does that move? Of course, it's not going to, you know, in reality, when you really stop and look at it, it's not going to move much because there's a very small seam of dirt and then it's solid rock.
Where'd they get the stone?
It just came from Talk about the stone field? Yeah, it just came out of quarry.
Hanson,
Yeah. Yes, sir.
what grade did they use for that?
It's just a regular DOT type stone that meets that spec for the, the state highway level of stone is what, I don't remember the number of it, but it seemed like it was there's so many different designations, number 8 or something like that. It was a stone, about a 3/4 inch size stone.
Did they ever, of course, this has nothing to do with you, did they ever fix that dip out there on the bypass or truck route? Sank?
I don't know.
No.
I haven't seen that.
Now, but are you gonna have a perimeter footing then around the whole thing?
Yes, sir.
And then there'll be a slab poured on top of that, and then the building will go on top of that.
Yes, sir.
And it's gonna be a steel structure.
Yes, sir.
And then the ponds will be inside with a walkway between the outside wall and the inside pond, back of the inside ponds, right?
Yeah, it's what's called a rear chase.
Right.
There's a space back there, and,
The outside of that will actually be a brick structure.
well, there's brick on the outside of it,
Yeah.
up so high. But there's a rear maintenance chase all the way around this thing. And I've been in several other jails around that's the way to do it. I mean, where they go, they can maintain, they can fix if there's a water drip or for the line stopped up or something, they can go just walk around back and do it. Don't have to go in and move all the prisoners out and it's in a secure area.
Les had brought in a change order at the last meeting, and we went over that on the water heater. And,
It is a deductive change order.
yeah,
Value engineering and stuff. And Phil and I were looking at it, and we talked about the water heaters and of course I was trying to look at it, as was he, trying to understand it, look at it. So I made a call to the engineer from RQW, and he explained it to me of what they were changing to, which in return, it's actually a more efficient operating unit than what was spec. So it should be a less expensive operation long term. So let alone the fact that it is a sizable deduction in the overall cost.
so is there a copy for like Sarah?
There's 4 copies of each one.
Okay.
And if you would do a signature on those, and you keep a copy, and then I distribute the other copies, one for us, one for RQW, one back to the contractor. So there should be 4 copies of each.
Ed, we discussed it with the architect.
Thank you very much.
Well, hold on, while he's here, I've got something I want to address jointly with Les. And I think you guys have this, I see Phil's got one. I want to explain kind of what we've been presented with is RQAW's additional services request for a redesign of the court. And this is for $42,500, as I recall. Yeah, there it is. The way this came about is what we needed was, our primary goal was to address an overcrowding issue in the jail, with additional goals of revamping and adding on to our other facility usages, which include the sheriff's department and the Superior Court. And I think everybody in the study committee agreed, including the sheriff, that we have a much more pressing need in the court than we do in the sheriff's department for additional room and improvements. I was because I'm not an antique, I think I was probably in high school when the original structure was built, and I'm not even sure I could read the paper, I was so young. But
Somebody get the boots.
But what I've since learned is I don't think this was really originally built to be a courthouse, a courtroom. It was, I think, more designed as a hearing room, where people could have their initial hearings right there beside the jail or something. And you can tell by the design of it, by the size of the tables, the size of the area, the size of the jury room, which seats 6 people, and you need 12, 13, that this wasn't really ever functional as a courtroom, and we've had it for nearly 30 years as a courtroom. We've had modifications, we've had to add on to get by, but this is a more pressing need than is the expansion of the sheriff's department. So when we hired RQAW, you'll recall they had previously done some plans back in the 2006 timeframe or 2004 timeframe, and they resurrected those plans and based on technological advances did some redesign work and came up with a proposal that essentially had, although it was broken out into multiple bid packages. The original was the jail. That was the mandatory main bid package, and then there were bid alternates, like 7 of them. But the primary function was the jail and related items, and then a build-out for a new courtroom, a new sheriff's department on the east side of the building, and then there would be a reutilization of the existing space. When we opened our bids that day, a few months ago, I think it came as a surprise to everyone that the bids did not come in sufficient to allow us to do any more than the existing jail facility. So what we had designed, I think everyone was hoping that we'd at least get the courtroom and maybe have some money left over to do some things with the sheriff's department space. So with that said, we're faced with, we've got more money than we need and a $12 million bond to do the jail expansion, but not enough to do much of anything else. So but we do have some left over. So the issue becomes, do we need to address the Superior Court space now? And as it was designed and bid out, we can't come close to doing that. So we approached the architects and said, is there anything we can do to alleviate some of the concerns we have, many that are safety related and certainly just volume related with respect to the Superior Court. And so what they've done is they've done some preliminary drawings and met with the judge and with me and another attorney to talk about what the needs are and the functioning of court. And they've gone 22 feet out, I believe, to the north and 38 feet out to the east and revamped and kind of redesigned a new proposed courtroom. But these aren't actual specs. These aren't detailed specs. It's more kind of a drawing to show you.
And what we've done is we've looked at bringing it, rather than moving it, bringing it back to the original court area and kind of wrapping around and encompassing the original court area, basically expanding it.
And so we've had, Les has been there, the architect's been there, and we've had a handful of meetings talking about that. I think Philip's been involved in some, but kind of how does the court need to function, what kind of space you need. And so they've come up with kind of an idea that they think would work, and possibly would work within the money that we've got left over. And it would alleviate, it would tremendously increase the functionality of the court. But to actually know whether or not we can afford that, we would propose this to the existing contractors as change orders. And, but we need to see what they could do it for. And to do that, we need to pay to have actual new specs drawn up under the new design and bid it out to them and let them tell us what it be, and then we can decide whether or not we can go forward. Is that fairly summarized?
Yeah, it's, and we got to know what we got to give them something to price for them to be able to quote back to us, and then we start the negotiation process with them, whether it's fair or not fair, and then we decide how we can do that.
Well, my concern is, and Tom's defining, well, but at the same time, we got a set of prints, and I was talking to one of the previous councilmen last night. His concern was, we're gonna go for another, we've got one set of prints we can't use because we don't have the money. Now we're drawn with another 42.5. Are we at the point, and we don't even know that the new part, if we spend $42,500 in the next drawing, that we'll have enough money to come through, and then we got another set of paper. And are we at the point where we really want to do it now, in the building stage we are, or wait further down the road? I mean, we put off the courtroom, granted, we'd all love to have it.
Right.
But I don't like spending $42,500
And
to
not
lay
know
around
that we're
and
gonna
not know that we can
Yeah.
even do it.
Exactly.
And we don't know what money we're gonna have yet, because, I mean, one more year looks to me like it'd be a better waiting time than jumping it now, drawing a set of plans that maybe something will change.
And that's true, because we're just in one thing, you know, it's kind of a double-edged thing, because we're just in the beginning stages of this project to know, you know, how much unseen stuff that we're gonna run into. And we've got a pretty good feel, but, you know, we don't know from day to day what might happen. But on the other hand is, you know, without that study, we don't know how much we need. In the end, we don't know how much we're gonna need in the end, but we don't know how much we're gonna have. So, I mean, it's kind of a, you understand, I mean, again,
I agree, but right now,
yeah,
I don't.
and I'm not, I don't care which way we go. It's, you know, we just want to do it the most efficient way, the cheapest way, or most economical way we can. And there's gonna come a point, and I don't know how long, again, I don't know how long it takes RQAW exactly to modify what they've got to modify. I don't know exactly how long that'll take them. But it comes to a point where we've got the efficiency of us doing it up here, okay, to get it done, we got to start at this point. You know, there's got to be a break point of when we would start that work.
Yeah, but we're not to that break point yet.
Not yet, but my point is how long it takes RQAW to get ready for us to be at that point.
But the mechanical part of a courtroom, I mean, you're not really, it might be additional bathrooms as far as plumbing, but that's gonna tie in on the other side of the building.
Yes, sir.
As far as the electrical, your electrical load wouldn't be that great in that room. Your intercom system and your telephone system,
It's all gonna tie in.
it's gonna tie on the other side too. And really, with the jail pod on this and everything being on this side, with the other mechanical on the other side, it's not really, I don't see that we're in a hurry at this point.
There are gonna be changes though, like where we locate bathrooms and how there will be changes that affect the existing plans and based on if we do this, because this will come out 38 feet to the east and 22 feet to the north, and that means it will touch and concern the new proposed lobby. And with that, if we build this addition where we have video visitation, because part of this whole thing is where we place that, where the bathrooms are, there's gonna be plumbing and other issues. And right now, my word from the architect was that we've put this off. If we wanna do this, in the very near future, we need to go ahead and get them working on the drawings so that they can send it out, because I think they're looking at least 30 days to get that done.
Yeah, and I think what we're looking at as far as to where we're all feeling comfortable that of where the level of money is to where we could start this work, possibly, you know, December-ish, something of that nature. You know, we can do it.
Because once it gets done, we're also gonna, okay, suppose it comes in at 100,000, 200,000 more than what we've got the money to do. Then that gives us time to make changes to that, to give and take and negotiate this, that, and the other to get it done. But I mean, all this is gonna take time, and this isn't just a simple add-on. I mean,
Right, there's gonna be some negotiation process between us and the contractors back and forth, because, you know, we have to get the project, but we have to get it at the right, you know, with the right cost. You know, and we've got to negotiate that with them, and we have to get them to price it, so we know where we're at to start with, so it's.
I understand
Yeah,
what you're saying, where, it's just at this point, and the sewer is on the north side of that building,
Yes, sir.
and for your bathroom layout, it doesn't matter if it's now or 6 months down the road, when you're prepping for that.
Yeah, it does concerning the video visitation and the things that are gonna be changed during the front entrance of the jail.
But was it not the start of the intention that the courtroom was originally set up to be on the right side where the sheriff's officers were at? And then was gonna be on the other side, and then that got flipped, but we wasn't gonna have nobody from the trial, from the back being brought up to where it would interfere with the other side. And now we changed because of money to the other side, not changing it as much, not doing nothing to the jail. And that's why I'm saying, I don't think we know what we are gonna head to here. And I think it's gonna depend on the final money at the end. And I don't.
But it's gotta be part of, I mean, you can do change orders up to 20% of the original cost. And so we can't let these contractors go. I mean, this new design will include a secure hallway chase that heads north and then he gets into the building and turns right. It includes a separate area for initial hearings or pretrial conferences for inmates where they are no longer be to come into contact with the public. There's going to be, as you add it on, how we design where the video visitation is and the bathrooms are that would service the lobby and the courtroom would change the existing plans a little bit. And it'd be kind of nice to know now if we're going to do that, because we do have built-in reserve in a contingency fund of several $100,000 that could help pay for this. That's the floating variables. We don't know how much that contingency fund is going to get eaten up by unknown factors.
And the very best thing that we can do is to negotiate with the contractor to get on site and have them doing the work, you know,
while they're there.
At a fair price, while they're there, and that way then we don't have a roof issue to where there's somebody pointing a finger at somebody else. We've got the contractors there that have done this whole project. So it's a, you know.
And it's part of the same project. The other
Yes.
issue we get into is, we talked about this in the beginning, is do we do this as a separate bond and separate issue after the fact? And I think going through the process to try to raise the money, additional monies a year, 2 years down the road and say, okay, now we're gonna do this, when we had some room to negotiate and redesign plans, I think would be a very troublesome prospect. So, and the 42,500, I think would come out of that contingency fund. We've got, I think, 700,000 set aside. Yeah, the project contingency fund.
The meeting I sat in with you guys, and I think Tom and Mark were there too, and Joe sketched that out with the attorney-client hallway down the side. I think
Okay.
decision that was made on that. Number one, I guess I'm trying to figure out, getting a set of drawings like that, it didn't seem to me like there was that big a change in the whole system anyway. I don't understand the 42.5 for a change that understand the need because it's all gonna relate and connect to the video visitation area, which is gonna be right in the main front part of it.
Right.
So I
Well,
really can't,
and-
and I can't see it taking no 30 days to do it, Les. Whenever he done it in 15 minutes there, we were sitting there talking.
Well,
No.
there's a lot to it, but, I mean, again.
I mean, the
we-
specs and
we-
everything, I
Right,
understand.
I
That's
understand.
what he's talking about.
But what I'm saying, of course, I don't work for RQW, you know, so, and we're not getting any more fee for us, you know, so that, but I don't know that RQAW's $42,000 fee of what all they do, or where it all goes, but I do know what they do. They, you know, they have structural engineering, they have mechanical engineering, electrical engineering.
I understand that.
And then design, and that's where that all goes, but I don't know if that's, I don't know that that's a fair, I mean, I don't know what.
I
what they should
understand
charge.
that, but you're building on an existing structure you're planning on building to.
Yeah.
Now, what changes in the structural part of it, and the electrical part of it, and the plumbing part of it, and everything else, whenever you've already got, they've already made this study, and they've already charged us for it, they've already done all this, and then they're gonna add some more information, but it's gonna be the same information they've already researched. It's not gonna be different. So what is the difference?
No, it's.
I mean, I'm putting you on the spot.
No, I don't, no, you know, I mean, I can't answer, I mean, that's something for Joe Morak to answer directly, but there is a lot of changes, a lot of different, it's a different engineered type building size, box, you know, it is different.
The people that are putting in the secure locks and the communication systems and all that, this is a completely new design, and they need to, coming up with a CAD-looking drawing is one thing, but there's no detail in there. That's why that's that thick.
Yeah.
Instead of just one, it'd just be a one-sheet drawing. But coming up with the specs that would allow someone to bid.
We got 4 books over there.
Yeah,
that they have
and
to
you've
mark.
gotta know how many, to put all that together.
Believe it or not, I used to do that.
But you said they've already got, you said they've already got the information. No, a new drawing of how many feet we're coming out, how much brick we're gonna use, how much concrete we're gonna pour, where new things are going, what the judge's bench is gonna look like.
Right.
The judge's bench is completely different. Everything, we're gonna have to have a new judge's bench. We're gonna have different seating. We've got all kinds of things, and none of that's in the original drawings. This is a completely reshaped, redesigned, re-angled everything. And so when you say we've already got that information, when you're running plumbing to different areas under a pad or around whatever, I don't know that we've got that in this redesigned drawing.
Everything you listed, Tom, the judge's bench, the seating, the extra seating, all the other, that's basic. That's all basic stuff. When you get into the electrical, when you get into the plumbing, when you get into the actual structural stuff, that's what I'm talking about. Because that's the detailed specifications that you've got to have for an engineering firm to produce and follow through, correct, Les?
Oh, yes.
That's what you gotta have, is that addition. That has already been finalized and approved through the basic jail, other than adding to, which is what they would do. They go back to their specs, say, okay, for this sound system, we use this type of wire here, this type of wire there. We're gonna extend this out, and we're gonna put it into the new structure, the basic structure that we have. We're gonna extend this out in the drawing, and that's your spec. Your spec's already wrote. Your spec isn't gonna change.
The
They're gonna
spec
change
is
the
not
spec.
ready. The spec is not, we got bids on the specs for the courtroom.
We don't have any.
And they came in,
specs.
on the original courtroom that was already wrote. What's already wrote, we got bids on, and we can't do it for that. So if we scale it back, don't we need to issue what the new specs are and say, okay, can you do this within the money we've got?
We don't have specs on our jail.
We have, yes.
On
we
the
have-
jail, I'm talking about the courtroom, and we've got
Well-
specs on the,
On the courtroom.
All right, the thing.
That we can't do.
And going back to what we're doing, there's, and from my standpoint, there's a timeline of efficiency to where I can get bids and get this thing hopefully done, but, you know, we need to get that done at a certain, you know, within a timeline to where I don't lose my contractors and I don't lose my be efficient on time and everything else to get this done, so. As far as our kids, that is, their workload and their hours and all that, I can't answer to that. But I know there is requirements and there's changes and stuff that they have to do, or will have to do. So,
I think we got 30 days on this.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't, if we wait 30 days, we'll have, we'll do the best we can at that point. I mean, I'll do what I gotta do.
Well, we know most of the contractors accepted dirt.
And they're very minimal excavating work and fill work and dirt work and that.
I need some more time for research.
Motion taken.
How about a couple of weeks?
Two meetings.
Why don't we invite,
I would recommend you.
let's
talk
invite
to
them
Joe.
down and talk to us.
Yes.
I mean, that's.
Plan Joe at your next meeting.
Well, if you can be here, but if we, I know on Wednesdays, every Wednesday, he's in Scottsburg working on their jail.
Do you want to table it for 30 days? You want to table it for 2 weeks? Maybe?
That's
Till Joe can get here.
I think we just need to see if he can get to the next
within
meeting.
the next 2 meetings,
Yeah,
either one.
I would highly recommend that you have Joe present this to you, because I can't, I can't speak for him. I can speak to the construction end of it and trying to get it done.
It's not on the agenda anyway, so we really don't need a table, we just bring it up, made by Tom. Because it wasn't on the agenda anyway, so we just bring it up.
Yeah. Okay. Anything else? Is that both of them?
Oh, and they've been
I'll
signed.
check them, make sure he's seen it.
I think we got most.
Got them all? Should,
Louis,
Blue ink. Yes, sir. Thank you.
I'm sure you can read on
We
it.
use red this time.
No, this is blue, this is the deputy.
Oh, we're gonna wait on the contract change, sign blood.
Yeah, this is 7 money here, folks.
Type blue.
There's 1 copy, there's 3, 1, 2, 3, there's 4 of this. Let's see which one.
I didn't make it. What's the reason was?
Gerald, you have anything?
Okay, here.
I'm just gonna print his name in where it's supposed to.
That's fine.
Supposed to be typed. See when we-
Or legible. Okay, here's one of Errol's. Now, where the other, there should be some others. For the GVMC one.
That's yours.
That's the other two. But there ought to be 3 more copies.
Yours, then.
Okay, they're there.
No, it's mine.
That would be legal because he's not typing it in.
Yeah, I need to get the contractor.
Man.
Type
I think
or
it's
legible.
63 for
Okay.
that.
Okay, that's what they're after.
I'll put a copy of this to Sarah. There you go. Thank you.
You have anything, Gerald?
Yeah, a
Thank you,
couple
Les.
things.
Thank you all.
Thanks, Les.
I gave Sarah a list of roads that we blacktopped a couple weeks ago. I'll go over my quick and she can run them down later. Third district done Mary Road. And they done their part of Phillips Road. That was the 2 that they done. Second district done the Lake Cylinder Road, the dead end, where the bypass cut in 2. People out there was very appreciative of that. We also done, when we wedged the Cox Ferry Bridge up, was the binder. Then we went ahead and done Cox Ferry between Highland and Rush Creek. We got a lot of complaints on it. We got it fixed up for them. We done Bowsman Road between Glen Miller and True Blood. We done True Blood Road between Bowsman and Quaker. And we also done our part of Phillips, which was 210s.
How many miles total was that, Gerald?
On your guys are just 4.5 tenths.
No, I meant all of it.
I don't know on what they've done so far. I think mine was about 4.5. I'm not sure what Denver's done. And then, I've got a question on people that want the signs put up. Are we doing that? Or are they doing it?
I don't know.
Didn't she say?
She didn't say, she just getting them made, I know.
I assume they're gonna have to put up.
They
I
may
heard,
have-
I heard some talk about, she had talked to somebody about highway department putting them up in her conversation.
That's
I
what she said.
think I heard that. I don't know who she's been in discussion with.
Okay, now, are they going on the state out there on 160? Are they going back on the county right away?
They're taking care of all that markings, her and Desi. She emailed me about the signs, and I emailed her back and told her she needed to get with Desi, because she's the one that works with the state and knows what to do and what not to do, and so them two are working on it. And I'm sure Desi will put it on the list for them to put them up if they want them to. I don't know, they,
We don't put anything up on the state. That's their,
yeah, but I don't
I
know.
don't know if that's what she wants to or not.
No, I think she was talking, I think the state's taken care of, she's talking about on like Harristown Road and Beta Road, on the county's portion.
She wants them back on our part.
That's what I-
Like, we're way back off the right of way there. You know, state's got a big right of way on that road, the sign's gonna be way back
Okay,
off the road, is what I'm saying.
okay.
So they've got like 60 foot. Well, you put that sign back 60 foot, you're not even gonna see it driving down the road. That's, you know, what I'm asking. If she's gonna put it out there on 160, then the state needs to be doing that.
That would be between her and the state. As far as I know, we as a county gave her permission to use the county road, but I don't know what all they found out. The only thing I know is the research that she's been doing, and they're doing everything according to the rules. I mean, they've contacted the state, I know they've talked with Desi, and they're not doing anything out of the way, so I'd say, I know there's 5 signs they want to put up, and they've located them about where, now they gotta get permission in all the areas. As far as we're concerned, as far as I know, we as a county gave permission to use the county roads, that's it.
Yeah, we can put them like out there on Harristown, I guess.
Yeah, that's
Kicked
all
off
we did.
crossing.
Permission
We can
from
put one
county.
there,
It's up to them to get the permission. from
but
the
no,
state.
she needs to get with the state
Right.
On
if she
160
wants it on
there.
160 and 56. But
That 160 would be the most feasible place to put it, and 60, 56.
That's what I understood her to say, is that she'd work with the state, and they're gonna take care of that, she just had a couple for the county board, that's what I understood.
Yeah, she just wanted permission from the county, I think. I think the rest of it's been taken care of.
And Zincs are making signs, is that right?
That's the way I understood her, I don't know what she mentioned Zinks is.
Yeah.
I guess you'll get with us when they get them done.
Yeah,
That's all I have.
we need a motion to accept payroll claims.
One other thing, Gerald, before we dismiss too, I've already told my foreman, I don't know if anybody else has or not, but the way I understand it from Ken Temple, the roads that we prepare this fall to seal, we seal this fall, the roads that we really want to blacktop for next year. Is that true? That's the way he described it to me. If we seal them now, then we get better success when we pave them, they get longer life on the roads.
The ones that you can do that to, that's
Yeah,
fine.
and we need to find, you know, anything that we can do that to this fall, we need to get done. And I think it'd be a good idea if we just kind of maybe check the roads out maybe this fall for the blacktopping that we're gonna do next summer with our foreman. Go through, take a look at it and start that sealing. Cause that, I don't know how many miles they can do in one day on that one machine, cause I think one machine's all they have.
cracks.
The cracks in the
Yeah,
road.
yeah, okay. Like,
Water gets in there and freezes and
Like
rains
old
it.
56, I think.
Yeah.
But if you seal that, keep the water out of it and the snow and everything, it'll prolong the life of your road. Then you go back and blacktop it, it extends it way out.
So many miles can do that.
So it's a plus for us to do it. We just need to do it this fall instead of waiting until next spring.
You know, so many
Right.
miles can be done, yeah.
But, and besides that, it's only $1,850 a mile, which will save us a heck of a lot of money in the long run.
It's a good idea. Need a motion to accept the payroll and the claims?
So,
Thank you. All those in favor of accepting the payroll and claims, raise your right hand. Unanimous?
Mr. Chairman, I got 3 small things. I was asked to submit a name for a weed board. I contacted Larry Carroll. He is, I've talked to him, and he would serve on the board. Is that a 1-year or a 3-year term, do you know?
Sarah's got a list.
It's multiple years.
I've talked to Danielle concerning the weed board stuff too, because I was kind of confused on some of the and stuff, and I told her what I have on my appointments, it's like a 4-year term, which,
I think that's right.
yes. And let me tell you when that will be at.
He's retired,
But they're
and
staggered.
he would be interested in
Well,
serving.
I don't have them stated, I have them
1 year
all
right now.
Listen to it.
2014, at the end of this year, or no, next year. 2014 is
Oh, so
when.
it'll be a 1-year appointment because he's filling a term that's only got a year
All
left.
right, that'll work,
A year and 5 months.
that'll work for me. Okay. So Larry Carroll's my suggestion on that. The other things is I want to announce our public hearing for county council on the budget, August 22nd, in this room at 8:30 a.m. And the other thing I want to urge both council and the commissioners, we need to look at all the options, the rates of coverages that we have for the insurance for employees. And I think we have to work with a parameter when we can work in the budget, which we're looking at probably about a 1.3 or 1.4 type of figure to be working with. If we get up much above that, it's going to put a real strain where we're at on the budget. So we need to be kind of looking in that area and putting the package together according to that. So that's all I've got. Thank you.
with the ceiling.
With the ceiling. Okay.
Thank you, Dave. Be joining you next month.
Do all.
I'll be joining you next month.
All right, very good. Be glad to have you.
They have coffee and donuts at all.
I think the attorney furnishes the coffee and donuts. I'm not sure.
They have coffee and donuts at their meetings?
Yeah, they got it.
Dossie brings donuts and Mark Clark takes care of the coffee.
Really? Our attorney brings us trouble.
Dossie only brings donuts though when we're working at budget hearings.
Yeah, I was
Oh,
gonna
for
say.
budget hearings, I was
No,
gonna say.
Mark has coffee.
But he does have coffee.
Yeah, he's got a coffee maker.
Yeah, every meeting.
You guys need access to Carol Tan, she brings them every day.
Yeah.
There's nothing else to attend.
Did we, did we address the veteran driving issue?
Yes.
So, okay, all right, that's all I have.
Need a motion to adjourn?
Make a motion.